Boom. Okay. What's up, guys?
What's up?
Yes. What's up, Bridget and Red? We're on YouTube. We're live on the Dank Dumpster channel, G.
Are we gonna have to start over and everything?
Yeah, we'll start it over. It's fine. We're only 10 minutes in. I need to get BBB in here because we're supposed to have valuable drinking starting time. Yeah, we're gonna start over, Bridget. It's because of Gene. He messed it all up.
Yeah.
It's his fault. But you know what's the good news? I got M&M minis. That's how you know it's a good day.
It's high in sugar, Shab. It's not good for you.
It has no sugar in it.
You gotta eat healthy, Shab.
It doesn't have sugar in it.
You don't see me engaging in, like, unhealthy.
Bad Gene. I'll make a thumbnail after the stream, Dingle.
God, look at Shab. He didn't even make a damn thumb. Ooh.
Well, yeah.
Is that one of the bad no words?
Bad. Stop cussing.
Okay. Are we 10 minutes in yet, or?
No, it's been like 2 minutes.
Oh my God.
Who invited this guy?
Shabisky.
He snuck his way in the back door, actually. Let me just share this out real quick. You're gay, you're gay, you're gay. Alright, so what's up, Ruby? Everyone hit the like button. Yes, Billy, John Morgan is here, our Lord and Savior. We only have one.
John Morgan.
We only have one like. Hit the like button, everybody. Please, everyone hit the like button right now. Let me... Oh, I don't need to... Oh, what am I doing? I have beer right in front of me. So, I got a whole 12-pack of Heineken. Because who doesn't love Heine? You like Heine, right, Gene?
Mm-hmm. Now, everyone in the YouTube live chat, why are you guys so reluctant to sign up for a new platform? It takes like 2 or 3 clicks.
I think some people just don't like.
They don't like change. You know what? Okay, people in the chat, you need to look up the 5-factor personality model. The one different personality element is openness or openness to experience, and that's the one that has the strongest correlation with intelligence. So people who are more eclectic and they like to try new things and experiment with new things, that out of all the different personality dynamics has the strongest correlation with intelligence.
I've heard you say that before.
That you guys are not willing to try something new just proves that you're a bunch of... Is it 10 minutes?
No. In like 5 minutes.
You're a bunch of dumb cucks.
Whoa. Okay. Guys, please help me out with the goal up there. We're on the Dank Dumpster channel, so that means it's the Dank Dumpster Streamlabs that you use to help with the cool guy goal. Here's a link in the chat. I got a whole 12-pack of Heineken here. And I'm going to start by opening this first.
Dingle says we need to speak up. He can barely...
He's trolling, Gene. He's trolling. Okay, calm down.
Can you hear me, Dingle?
Stop. Gene, stop.
What?
Stop! Yeah, Bill Hicks, please help me out with the goal. And I'm Shadmonk. I need help. Small goal of $1,300. No, it's only $150, Bill Hicks. You stop it. All right, cheers, you guys. So this is going to be like a long, chilly episode. And what I mean by that is like we're chilling right now. It's already been 5 minutes and we haven't played any video. And that's how crazy we are. But yeah,
I think Timmy here, he's the most unhinged of us all. Talking about crazy.
He's a psychopath. You can just see it. Long, boring episode. Wow, Dingle.
I don't know. I'm pretty bored.
So I take EBT, break it. Shut up, Gene. That's it. Kick him off the show, guys. We don't need him. We don't need this bigot. This Gene. His bigot Gene. Alright, so we'll start the video from the beginning here. Once again, this is Gene when he was just a young little guy.
Yeah, I managed to break out of prison, change my identity, start anew.
Yep. He used to be John, now he's Gene. Nobody even thought anything of it. Nobody could figure it out. They're too dumb. Alright. Hit the like button, guys. Let's get to 10 likes. I'll take a dab at 10 likes. And I'll take a dab right now, but yeah. An extra dab. Cheers. Cheers, you guys. Let's get it started.
At first, I wasn't wanting to. We attacked her. I didn't really want to do it as much. I didn't want to do it. Her whole top was like gone.
Her whole what was gone?
Oh, face all gone.
The whole top of her head?
So you said you didn't want to do it like 10 times, but I mean, what do you think was the thing that really motivated him?
Money.
Or really?
Money. I bet it was something as
Do you think it was like the voices, or do you think he...
I think it was two kids getting together and being like, hey, stupid.
You know what would be fun?
You know, grandma... Yeah, I know where grandma
killing
keeps,
somebody.
I know where grandma keeps her money, but if we go there and get it, she'll tell on us, so we have to smash your brains in and then take the money.
No, this is what I think it is, Shab. It's like openness to new experience. These are some very bright kids, and they're like, you know what? Let's do something really new.
Oh,
like,
and you interrupted me when I was going to say something a minute ago.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, disclaimer, we make lots of jokes on here and stuff. Some of it might be like crude humor and stuff, but we do take murdering your grandma very serious. That's bad stuff, and you should not do it. Okay?
You should just put some mini kind of like disclaimer in the intro.
I know. You need to make it for me, Gene. Get to work.
Okay.
Get the fucking work, Gene.
I bought purchased one of those really sophisticated text, and they have all these like different celebrity voices, Steve Buscemi or Snoop Dogg. So I'll have Snoop Dogg do a disclaimer for people.
I like that guy.
Yeah.
He's good at golfing or whatever.
And I was thinking like the reason I got it. Oh, never mind.
Reason you got what?
The software I just mentioned is because like when we're doing like the PPP on like history, they don't have like a lot of videos of like people in the 1700s or for some reason or whatever. So I decided that I would just use the text-to-speech software to make some little like informative video clips that we could play.
All right, I've just got to interrupt everything. Why isn't Tommy here with us right now? What?
Because he never comes on with me. Dude, Tommy, you need to fly out to Vegas and do IRL streams with me. The people want it.
I haven't seen Tommy come to any of my streams either. Tommy sucks.
Well, yeah, he likes me, Gene, not you. Dork.
He's not very supportive of his associates.
God.
I think we, as the panel on this show, owe Tommy an apology. I apologise, Tommy, for this drastic. I can't even think of words. I'm so upset.
I'm sorry for existing.
This slight, this slap in the face you have given this man.
I'm sorry that Shab's not dead, Tommy.
Tommy, you gonna let him talk that way about me, dog? That's it. Tommy's gonna come back with a fury. With a fury. Where did Billy Boy Blue go? I thought he was drinking with me. I am lazy. Everything is here and wouldn't see your streams if they didn't pop up in my other one. Yeah, heck yeah, Ty. Alright.
Oh, Tommy does watch my streams. God.
Heck yeah.
He needs to engage in the chat because the other people...
You need to get engaged, Tommy.
Yeah.
Take the head. But I didn't feel good. We were freaking out.
This is 13-year-old Antonio Barbeau and his friend, 13-year-old Nathan Pop. The pair are enjoying a good meal and some conversation at a local pizzeria. This footage seems innocent enough. However, once it's revealed exactly how they ended up there, your entire perception of this video will change.
Wait, what kind of pizza did they get? Toppings, because that might say a lot about like their personality. Or
they got pineapple on their pizza. Yeah. That's just like no wonder they ended up killing.
Nah, they got They got cauliflower, so it looked like
Ew, that's even
human
worse.
brains.
Can really determine a lot about somebody's like just based on the kind of pizza toppings they get.
Whoa. Whoa. Pineapple jalapeno. Ew. Ew.
Well, 78-year-old Barbara Olson didn't
And
show
like
up at her daughter
psychologists
Judy Offutt's house as she normally
nowadays,
did,
like
mostly
instead of giving like Rorschach tests and everything, what they do is they just for evaluating them, they're like, "Hey, would you like a pizza? What top?" And they just use that.
They wanted pineapple on their pizza. Throw them in the jail.
Yeah,
Put them in the
psychopath.
cellar.
All right, it's called a Hawaiian pizza, ham and pineapple. What don't people get about this concept? It's good pizza.
Actually, yeah, I do like pineapple on pizza.
It's
You just gotta
okay
get
every
the right
big now and
combos.
then. I'm not big on ham, but pineapple on pizza is cool every now and then.
I like the chicken ranch pizzas, or like the white pizzas with like the Alfredo sauce and stuff. I like to get like chicken and bacon on the pizza. I don't like pepperoni on pizza.
You won't ever catch me ordering a pizza with pineapple, but if I went over to someone's party and all they had was pineapple on their pizza, like I'd be like, whatever, and eat some. Maybe pick
You
off
gotta
a
be
couple of
open.
pineapples pieces.
Open to new
didn't feel like
experience,
it.
Chad.
It's like I prefer normal pizza or whatever, but it's kind of just something different. It's a little Fredo sauce is buffed. I've never tried that on pizza.
How did we get here? We're here to
Hey,
remember
we're here in-
Barbara and mourn her loss at the brutal murder from what's his name, Johnny Slickdo, and
we're hearing about how this old lady's grandson turned her face into a pizza, and we're like, huh, I like pizza.
spoilers.
I'm hungry. Let's order pizza.
No, but we already covered the first 10 minutes. We gotta find to go over
every
it.
morning.
Yeah.
When Barbara failed to appear again on Wednesday morning, Judy became concerned for her elderly mother. Judy placed several phone calls to Barbara in the following hours, but they all went unanswered. By the afternoon, she'd still received no word from her mom. Barbara lived just a few miles away from her daughter in the town of Sheboygan Falls, Wisconsin.
Sheboygan.
So Judy made her way to her mom's house later that very same afternoon. She lifted the garage door so that she could attempt to go into the home through the garage entrance. Her mother's car was missing from inside, but what she did find made her run to a neighbor to call the police.
Please send an ambulance and the police. My mother is laying in the garage and there's a lot of blood and there's a blanket over her head. There's a lot of blood.
She sounds like a spaz.
How did the blanket get over her? I have no idea. And how old is your mother?
Gene
What?
is the worst at these episodes sometimes. Like, it's like when the
What?
victim pops up, he's like, wow, if they look weird, what a fucking weirdo. No wonder they killed them. It's like, no, that's the person that got murdered, Gene. Here he's hearing the grandma's like daughter finding her dead and calling the cops and being in like a panic, and he's like, wow, what a spaz.
People
I would
need
be
to
like,
learn to be more stoic.
Could you-
They need to learn
could
to
you
be more
imagine
emotionally
Gene?
reserved.
Could you imagine Jane like finding a family member in a pool of blood, and he calls, hello? Yeah, there's like blood or whatever.
You got to
This
stay
is like-
calm in order to address things more like
Well-
efficiently.
Well, hold on. Here's my problem with what just happened there. It's like, lady was, it's like, hello, 911. It's like, oh, I've just found my mom. She's lying down in a pool of blood with a blanket on her head. And the fucking 911 operator goes, how did the blanket get on her head? It's like, well, that's not the real big issue here right now. Is that she's trying to? Is she trying to impersonate a sailboat on a lake of her own fucking blood? She's lying on the ground with a big pool of blood. That's usually a really good indicator if a human loses you don't need to lose that much blood before you cactus. So she's lying there. There's a trail of blood, and the first thing is, how did the blanket get on her head? It's
Well,
like,
she
what
might-
the fuck?
She might ask that because it's
She
like
has to investigate the situation.
No,
but
it's not her job to investigate.
Yeah,
It's like
it is.
she's just
Well,
been
yeah,
told.
they do.
No, their job's to ask a few quick questions and basically there's a pool of blood. The blanket's fucking irrelevant. Get someone over there. It's like,
Yeah.
what the fuck am I? Because my missus used to work 911, or our version of 911, and you don't. That's just a really weird thing, and you wasted precious time. Although, didn't really matter because, sadly, lady's head was pizzaed. No, I just find it really strange. It's just me though. That's just me.
Is it my mic that sounds like that, Raisin? See, stupid ass fucking Dingle had to sit there and complain about my mic, and then I went and started editing stuff, and then now it has a problem.
I don't know. Skippy J seems semi-figured out. Like, if I came across a dead body, I'd just be like, someone else's problem. Someone else will report it.
Just, how did the blanket get on her head? It's like, I don't know. It's just, there's a big pool of blood.
She might be doing it because you do have a lot of crazy where the person calling 911 is the committed the act of violence, and it's like, did you put the blanket on their head, or did you show up and find it? So that information could be important.
So next time I'll call an emergency and I report something like that, I should expect the person to just go, so did you do it? It's like, oh, yep, what? No.
Something I don't get is why it seems that if I call 911 right now and I needed help somewhere, they need me to tell them the address that I'm at. But, like, how come, like, I can download an app on my phone where, like, my family members can see exactly where I'm at any point of day, any time of the day, but
they don't have that, like, app installed that's synchronized with, like, your app.
They don't have. I'm not. Okay, we have the technology to.
Yeah.
You don't need an app on your phone
and stuff, but they have to have it synchronized with the app on your phone.
I'm saying, like, it seems like if you call 911, it should just automatically tell them the address you're located at, like, right away, without you needing to even speak a word.
Well, it does, but I mean, there's always the possibility that, like, maybe, like, something's going on where it's always best for them to just ask because that's a quick backup.
Well, like, it's like what Red Eye was saying, like, with their asking questions. Like, as soon as they hear that there's someone injured, there should be, like, a button pressed and people being sent to the address where they can already see that. I don't know if that's the case. Well, that's what I was going to say, maybe to Red Eye, but I don't know how that stuff works. But I'm pretty sure nowadays you still need to tell them, like, with your specific address when you call. They're not just gonna be like, oh, yep, we see where you're located at. Like maybe if you call in the landline, but it seems like it's pretty simple.
If you're calling via your, like, phone, they can probably see your cell phone number and stuff. They can track which, like, satellite it comes from. And they can do things like emergency pings, but I don't know. I think there's a bit too many hoops for them to pinpoint exactly where you're at that location. It's probably easier to just be like, you're in this building, because it's like when you do GPS and locate people, sometimes it's not quite clear. Are you in that building or are you in the building next to it? So it doesn't really give your exact whereabouts. And if you, like, look at Uber Eats and stuff, or Uber,
I don't think that's, like, crazy technology.
Have you used GPS before, Shab, where you're driving?
I've used an app on my phone where I can click and order for some old man in a car to be able to locate where I'm at really quick. I think that the 911 services have the capabilities of doing that. Of them, like, of it showing exactly where your location is, so they can go directly to that, no matter whether you say the address wrong or not.
What I'm saying is that even if you're doing that with the GPS, it's like, if you're driving somewhere using GPS, you have to look at it like, okay, is it turn? And I mean, it probably would be easier for them to just be like, okay, it's this address, and then they can head out. They have the exact location where they need to be, and there's no there's no debate on, like, where it's located exactly.
Well, there's times where people are calling the police and they say the address and it's heard wrong, or they said it wrong, and then they show up to the wrong place.
Okay,
as
well, they have, like,
so, I mean, it just seems like with technology,
the more
this is
information, the better. So even if they had still, like, like if they ask you and you tell them, they have. So even if they add that GPS technology and it said this, so we have the address that they gave us, using that technology they have. So it's always best to have as much information as you can.
Well, nobody's disagreeing with that. Look at Gene moving the goalpost. As soon as I win, Red Eye. You saw it. I won.
G-Man, it's about winning.
No, it's that other guy that we were watching yesterday. I'm him.
She's 78.
And is she breathing?
I don't know. I can't look. The blanket is over her head and I can't look.
Okay, who's there with you?
Oh, God, the neighbor.
Okay, can the neighbor check if she's breathing?
Oh,
You don't have to go and look. You don't have to go. If your neighbor can just go and check if she's breathing.
Okay, if you would like you to check.
Are you sending somebody?
I'm working on it. I need to know if she's breathing.
Barbara was lying motionless inside her
All right, I just want to point out
a
something
blanket
else.
covering her face with
Real quick. What the 911? You hear how the dude just went, are you sending somebody? Because what she's asked, I want you to go next door into the place where there's a person lying down in a pool of their own blood with a blanket over the head. I don't know if the perp's there or not still, but can you just go and check if she's breathing? And he's like, I think that's what he's thinking. It's like, oh, are you sending somebody?
Huh.
Like, I don't
Yeah,
want
that's
to go
kind of
over
an-
there in case there's a bad person there that's going to turn my head into a pizza as well.
Yeah, you make a good point. It's like, what if he goes there and next thing he's on the ground with a fucking blanket over his head? It's like the dispatcher just kind of led you to your own death there. Oh, there's somebody dead over there? Go over there. Hurry. And make sure not to bring a weapon. Those are stupid. Yeah, she didn't even think of saying that either. She didn't think of being like, do you have any sort of protection? Can you bring a pistol with you in case? Like, there's no worry in her mind whether the intruder could possibly still be in the house.
Well, I mean, in situations like this, it's like they probably don't know 100% if it's a murder. So based on that scenario, it's like if you find somebody, they could have fallen
If there's
off the roof,
someone, yeah, but if there's
they could
somebody
have tripped and hit their head, so
there's somebody injured with a blanket over them, over their head,
Yeah, hold
it
on,
shows.
I can bust this one wide open. There was a trail of blood as well that they saw from where the body was dragged from out of the house into the garage. It's
yeah,
like,
yeah, they're like, there's a pool of blood and shit. Like,
people with pizza heads don't usually do that under their own steam. They usually require some assistance.
yeah, that too. Get close to the body and tamper with the evidence. But yeah, sounds like they're really ready to put that guy's life in risk. Hurry up over there with no protection.
with no shoes on her feet. Her arms and hands appeared badly beaten. A trail of blood stretched from her body back into the house through the doorway that connected the garage to the interior of the home. Had the blanket been removed from Barbara's head, the sight would have been enough to scar Judy for the rest of her life. Underneath the cloth was a black plastic bag that had been placed over Barbara's head and secured around her neck with a black belt. Had the bag been removed, Judy would have seen that her mother's head was so severely crushed that parts of her face were either missing or indistinguishable. The top portion of her head was all but gone.
Do you think that maybe he,
the hunt for Barbara's killer began.
Shabisky, do you think maybe he took parts of her head as like a memento or like a trophy?
Pizza topping.
Pizza top. Oh my god.
That's what they were doing at the pizza place.
Yeah.
See? Like we said, the toppings can say a lot about a person. If you're using like human gore as a topping, there you go.
And it was this moment that Shabisky regretted inviting Red Eye on the show.
Oh, those moments happen a lot. A lot.
Was a volunteer driver for elderly citizens in Sheboygan Falls, an avid gardener, and described by her family as generally peaceful and positive. She simply wasn't the kind of person
Wait,
who...
is Billy Boy Blue even here? I came back to you
here,
just for Billy.
I gotta
What?
take a piss. Be right back.
Ew. Ew.
He's gross. Can we fire him?
Yeah, he eats cockroaches and stuff.
Ew.
The sicko. Blue. I'll wait for him to get back before I continue the... I guess I could keep going because he's already seen the first
Would have
10
had
minutes.
any enemies, which left detectives without any real leads. However, conversations with Barbara's family, as well as a few odd pieces of surveillance footage secured from multiple establishments around the area, landed detectives in front of two 13-year-olds, Barbara's great-grandson Antonio Barbeau, nicknamed Tino, and his friend Nathan, or Nate Pop. Investigators were hoping that these two middle schoolers could help them get to the bottom of who mercilessly executed Barbara Olson, and why. The following interrogation footage has never been seen before.
Just stand up, we can take it.
The first thing detectives do is remove Antonio's handcuffs, likely in order to make him more comfortable and build rapport with him before the interrogation begins. Prior to him entering the room, detectives have intentionally pulled Antonio's chair away from the table. This way, they have a clear view of his whole body, which will allow them to more effectively read his body language.
Yeah, you should.
Okay, you can read fine, correct?
Yeah.
All right, first of all, can I get your name? It's Antonio Barbo, is that how you pronounce it?
Antonio Barbo,
Okay. And how old are you?
13.
All right, so what grade are you in school?
I'm in 8th.
Yeah,
And you can
Justin
understand
Bieber.
everything that I'm saying so far,
Wait,
correct?
how old is he?
All right, do you know what day it is?
He's 13, and so is his friend. They're both 13.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah. The goal is 150, Bridget. 150. And we're almost halfway there.
Dude, he's 13 and he's like
Of the
in the
week?
8th grade.
I think Thursday.
Okay.
Detectives are asking some basic questions to get him talking and establish a behavioral baseline.
We've been involved in a serious investigation, okay? There's a lot of different people that have been talked to already about this serious investigation, and you're one of them that we wanted to talk to, hoping that you can clarify some things, okay?
All right.
Because you're sitting in here, I do have to read you your rights, okay?
All right.
Antonio appears relatively calm and unemotional for someone his age finding themselves in this position. This is likely not his first run-in with law enforcement.
Well, see,
Do you
he,
understand each of these rights?
like I said earlier,
Okay. Realize it.
you got to stay calm in these situations. So, like, he's got a much greater level compared to the woman previously.
More like he's just very... God, what's the word I'm looking for?
Psychotic, sociopathic, apathetic, desensitized.
I guess desensitized.
Nullified?
There's another word I was looking for, but something like desensitized. It's like that, just like what he did with to his grandmama. It's like it's very desensitized and shut up.
That you have these rights, are you now willing to answer questions or make a statement? Basically, listen to me and answer the questions so that we can hopefully clarify some things.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Antonio might understand the literal meaning of his Miranda rights, but he's likely too young to understand the repercussions of speaking without an attorney being present. If a minor understands their Miranda rights, they have the ability to waive them. However, a court will review the situation more carefully than a waiver by an adult before admitting an incriminating response into evidence. The prosecution must know that the minor understood the situation and their rights, and the waiver was voluntary, knowing, and intelligent. The court will take into account the age and intelligence of the minor and any coercive or deceptive tactics by law enforcement, as well as the emotional state of the minor at the time.
I
If
do
a
think that
parent
with
or guardian
minors,
was not in the room, a minor
it should be illegal for them to do it at all before we ever do it.
Yeah.
I do think, like, it's one thing if, like, an adult's stupid and they don't know to ask for a lawyer. I think with kids, it should be, you don't even, it's not their say. They need to get a lawyer in there before they investigate them at all.
You need their guardians to answer for that. Yeah, I think that makes sense.
Yeah.
Cheers, you guys.
Well, I mean, like, this is an extreme case, is like murder, but you'll see a lot of cases like kids that live in really bad areas, places like Baltimore, Chicago, where they take the kids in and they don't understand what's going on, and they waive their Miranda rights, and it's like they probably shouldn't do that. They should just automatically by default be provided with a lawyer.
Yeah, just like minors shouldn't be charged
I
as
agree
adults.
with Raisin.
Well,
why aren't you playing it at like 1.5?
Don't
like,
listen to her. She's disabled.
Yeah.
Okay? She's a whammon.
May not have understood their rights, or may have felt more pressure to cooperate with law enforcement.
There was a serious incident involving your great-grandmother, I believe. Do you know who that would be?
On my side? My side?
Yeah, I think it is.
Then Grandma Barb.
Okay, what's her... Is it grandma or great-grandma?
I just say Grandma.
But is she your grandma or is she your great-grandma?
She's my great-grandma.
Okay. Do you know anything at all about what may have happened to her? Have you heard anything?
Have you guys...
He says that where he's like, grandma.
No, he said it like he was thinking. He was trying to...
Yeah. But I'm saying, like, it seems like he's trying to be like, hey, doesn't...
Your audio's going in and out.
They could probably see how, like, with a little bit of investigation, how often he's seen his grandmother or whatever, certain time frame. So if he's
he said it only
like,
a couple weeks ago. So yeah, you can tell that there's
deception.
He's overly acting.
Yeah,
like someone wouldn't normally do in this situation.
Overacting.
Yeah, overacting and
like, Grandma Barb, huh?
You mean the one that I just saw a couple weeks ago? Actually, a couple days ago or whatever, but...
I'm saying if she's like some distant relative that he never sees, I can understand why maybe who his great-grandmother is, but it's like if she lives in the area...
He sits there and has to ponder about it, even though it's somebody he sees regularly. It's like, yeah, it doesn't... You don't really need to sit there and think too much about it.
Kind of a dumb fuck. And they said earlier, like,
the fact that people do this in general shows how dumb they are, really, when it comes down to it. Because it's like, watch, it's gonna be some stupid shit like he stole fucking $400 from his grandma or something like that. Like he got it's over petty little bullshit. Like
he had his friends over to her place, and they had a pizza, and she ate half the pizza.
Yeah. No, I bet it was over some shit like that. Like they took her liquor and her money or something like that. And, you know, in their position as a 13-year-old kid, it's like, it's a real cool night or whatever, real cool thing to get that kind of stuff. But like, it's so stupid to come to the conclusion that it's worth the trade-off there. I'm going to smash somebody's brains in so I could get some liquor tonight or whatever it is. It's like, it's not that hard to get money or liquor where you need to smash people's brains in for a couple $100 or something. And again, I don't know that that's the case, but watch. There's going to be something like that with it.
I mean, well, if you're going to smash someone's brain, do it to someone that you're not related to. If you're really desperate.
Dude, well,
I mean, hey, Grandma Barb, she's gonna die, so like pretty soon.
Whoa, hey.
Nah.
I mean,
poor Grandma Barb.
Do you know anything at all?
No, what happened?
Okay. Well, like I said, it's a serious incident. She's not doing that well, and I'll get more to it later as far as the other people that talk to you what came up. So, okay.
This is a strategically placed statement by the detectives.
That's one way to put it. She's not doing very well. She's not doing too good.
Well, like I said previously, the cops should just lie. Oh yeah, she said that you attacked.
They'll work their way up this stuff. They take it easy on them at first, and if they have to, they'll do some crazy shit like that. We've seen it in the past. I don't know about taking it that far, but they might. I do remember the one where that if I remember right, the person was dead, and the investigator straight up lied and was like, yeah, she's alive, she's getting better, or whatever. Like, I'm gonna be able to talk to her soon.
I would be like, hey, you were called on a surveillance camera attacking them, like in a lot of these cases, and it's like we know you had the footage that you did it, and then see if they.
You can't just straight hit them with that at first. They'll easily just lock up, right?
Not right away, but you'll do it.
Work their way up to something crazy like that if they need to. It's interesting.
Lets Antonio in on the fact that detectives have spoken with other people before speaking to him. This leaves him to wonder what they already know. The detectives will likely reveal what information they've gathered piece by piece as the interrogation progresses, in order to see if Antonio's story changes.
Alright. So you don't know anything about, when's the last time you saw your great-grandma?
It usually indicates that someone is experiencing a negative emotion when their lips seem to disappear, such as Antonio's are here. Disappearing lips doesn't mean someone is being deceptive.
Like, it looks like he's got a big giant derp smirk.
Yeah, he's like biting his top lip kind of thing or whatever. It's like,
It just suggests that they're likely feeling anxious or upset. Telling a lie can be anxiety-provoking for many people, as they don't know whether they will be believed or not. Since we already know that Antonio is lying about when he last saw his great-grandmother, we can presume that his disappearing lips are due to stress from being deceptive.
I don't know, I've been in trouble the past, month or two. I'm thinking at least a month ago.
So the last time you saw her was at least a month ago?
Yeah.
And do you remember where that was that you saw her?
No.
In response to the question, Antonio's hand flies up to his face.
He can't remember where. I think I saw her a month ago. I can't remember where.
I don't know, he's a great actor.
He's a good liar, too. It's all like, I just can't. I'm this 13-year-old boy, and I can't really even remember, weeks ago or a month ago or nothing, man.
He's a 13-year-old boy, and he lies all the time.
I'm not even sure. Yeah, I'm not even sure what fucking, country I was in or whatever. I don't know, man. Shh.
Pulling or pushing on one's face is known as facial distortion. It's an adapter behavior to release nervous energy and self-soothe. Given that Antonio is covering one of his eyes, it could also
people
be a
who
form
want to
of
commit
eye
some murder,
blocking,
they should probably do some they should probably do some homework on what some of these tells. These kind of implicit subconscious behaviors that you kind of reveal that you're being dishonest. People need before they do some murdering.
Me and Red Eye don't like you anymore, Gene.
What? You got to be prepared.
Wow.
Me and Red Eye don't like you anymore. We hate you.
People may do when they are presented with something they perceive as negative. It's
what
a way
the heck,
to put distance
man?
between themselves and whatever they're hearing or seeing. When an interrogation first begins, detectives will start with basic questions so they can get a feel for how the suspect responds to low-pressure questions. They will then compare that behavior to how the suspect acts with higher-pressure questions, like about the crime that has occurred. Antonio's baseline behavior involved very little movements, and he appeared relatively relaxed. However, as soon as questions about his great-grandma started, he began showing signs of stress. The detectives will likely interpret this as a deviation from his baseline behavior.
Okay, Shad, you gotta learn to...
of possible deception.
When's the last time you were at her house, Grandma, or great-grandma Barb Olson's?
Probably last time I went over there to work for her, which would probably be about 2 months ago. I remember I went over there, I put some leaves.
Here, when asked again about his last interaction with his great-grandmother.
Yeah, see?
Yeah.
Anybody who messes with leaves is a murderer.
Yeah, I mean, there's got to be a connection. Can't be incidental, but dude, that would say a lot about somebody. Like the guy previously from that one murder where he had all the leaves in his house. What about the pizza? What if he had a bunch of leaves on the pizza? Don't you think that would say quite a bit about somebody's character, personality?
Dude, I want to try leaves on my pizza. That sounds good, better than pineapple on my pizza.
Weed leaves.
Ooh, yeah.
We see more touching of the face and neck, and very subtle movement of the leg.
Dude, he's
These
gonna
are
get some
physical
acne,
signs
like
of
a skin
increased
breakout
anxiety and
from
potential red flags of
touching his face
deception.
too much.
These movements
Yeah.
indicate the person is likely feeling stressed, which could be because they're lying.
Like she had all these leaves in the garage, like a lot.
Oh my god.
Rather than the short answers he's given so far, Antonio delves into a
Too
detailed
many
explanation
similarities.
about the yard work he'd previously
Yeah.
done for his great-grandma, likely because it's a true story. These kinds of behavioral deviations are exactly what detectives are looking for.
And how long ago was that, did you say?
I'm gonna guess about 2 months.
And that was at your great-grandma's house?
Yeah.
So do you know where that is? Do you know the address by any chance or not? Or do
No,
you
I
know,
don't know the address.
do you know what street it's on or anything?
Well, the only thing I know is it's in Sheboygan Falls, and then like I know the area that it's in, but I don't know the address to it.
Wait.
Okay,
So this is another thing. So in the same way he's like trying to act like he doesn't really simply sounded it.
Gene, talking to your mic like a man.
Do you have me turned up on your end in Discord? Maybe that's it.
Red Eye, is the problem that I don't have him turned up enough?
Well, if you right
that what
click
it
on the
is?
person, it will show like what the volume of the different people are. So do you have me and the others like turned?
That's the problem. I just need to turn you up more, Gene. You figured it out. You figured it out. No, it's that your mic
what
is
does
too
it
far
say?
away
If
from
you-
your.
If you right click on my like profile, like in the chat, like
Okay.
what does it say my volume's at?
Okay, let me explain to you how great of a volume you have. Your volume is at
It's sensitivity.
123.
You're at the
200.
You're at the border of where your mic's picking your voice up and the auto sort of cut off thing for background noises coming into effect. If you lower that threshold, it'll pick your voice up easier.
Well, he probably just needs to move his mic closer to him, and that's probably
All
the
that.
issue. It's not picking up sometimes when his voice is a little too low in between him talking and stuff. This dork
my
is
voice
like...
my voice is naturally pretty. Turn volume up to
Yeah, it was cutting out
all the
then.
way.
Make sure your connection is good with your mic or something.
No, it's just if go and have a look at your mic settings on voice activity, and it'll have automatically determine input sensitivity, or you can set it.
Gene's a dork.
Does it sound better now?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Well, it's not dropping out. You'll have to say a sentence or two to see if it drops out.
Well, like I was saying previously with this guy, like with his grandmother, like acting like he doesn't know where they could easily find that out through just talking to relatives and stuff. Him claiming that like he doesn't know his grandmother's address. That's something else where if he's gone there like new stuff and it's like his family takes him there on a regular basis. It's like he's kind of stupid if he doesn't like. Yeah,
I could see him not knowing the address. His parents drive him there, or even if he's around there, he just knows what the house looks like and what the street it is on it. Like, you don't need to know the address for that. Like, there's plenty of friends I knew there that I knew where they lived, but I didn't know their address. At no point did I know their address. I just
but even if you don't know the
area
exact address,
and what their house looks like and everything.
Shouldn't you know what which neighborhood they're in, or at least
Yeah,
certain
you know
streets
from
in there?
memory, you know. Sometimes it doesn't even have to do with you looking at the name of it. It just, you go into the neighborhood, you're like, oh yeah, it's the third left, and then hers is the house on the right, and I know what it looks like.
I think people's memories just suck.
I think people remember things in different ways, and not everybody's being like, what's the number and the address? So I can remember it by that. They're like, houses look, they have their own unique look to them in most neighborhoods, and your grandma's car will be out front and all that.
You
like,
making excuses.
I believe him on that. He probably is full of shit though, because they went there to kill his grandma. I imagine he knew maybe the address, but I didn't know plenty of addresses of people that I knew where they lived.
And you were talking about getting in trouble and stuff. What are you here for?
I'm here for...
Antonio seems to give this particular question quite a bit of consideration before answering. He even repeats the question first, which is a common tactic used to stall for time.
Well, I'm here because I ran from social care when I had to go to social care. Because I remember I was like, my mom was telling me, like, if I was like really good and all that, I'd get out sooner, all that type of stuff. And then I was there for like a week and a half, and like half a week before that, I was talking to my social worker. She said only a few days. So then
this isn't the first time that we've seen like the grandkid kill their grandma or grandpa or whatever it is.
Old
and it's
people
like,
are fucking annoying.
Well, it's just an interesting concept. Imagine imagine having a kid and then that kid ends up killing your parent or your parents. It's like, wow, like that's just mind blowing. Like, I don't know. Like, especially at this age, imagine you having a little kid like this, and next thing you know, the bastard turns around and fucking kills your mom or dad or something. It's like, holy shit. Like, what the fuck? Like, who the fuck saw that coming? Jesus fucking dick in a butt, dude.
I don't know, Shab. Like, when you were a kid, did your parents ever have you, like, force you to spend the night or the weekend at your grandparents? And it's like, God, it's so fucking boring spending like the night at my
grandma was boring, but what the fuck? Like, everyone's grandparents are fucking probably boring, but that doesn't make me want to murder them.
I mean, why not get rid of them so you don't get, like, well, so they don't keep sending you there as like a cheap babysitter and stuff.
But how am I gonna get that $20 on my birthday? The $20 in a card.
I don't know.
If she dies, I won't have the 20.
Not spending the weekend at grandmom's.
Dude, you need to learn how to use a
nice sacrifice. Can you still not hear me? Like,
you can, but you keep going out.
When I was using my mic, like when I was streaming and stuff, people could hear it just fine. I went back and listened to it, and it sounds a lot better than when you're the one hosting with OBS.
You know what the problem is? It's me, obviously, Red Eye, right?
Well, then why did all my mic settings and stuff sound perfect? Yeah, settings.
He cuts out for you too, Red Eye, right?
Yep.
Yeah, the problem is me though, Red Eye. Obviously, it's not something.
Everything is your fault.
It's just the mic sensitivity. If you move it closer to you, it should stop doing it.
Well, it's right here. It's like right in front of me.
Well, check the auto sensitivity and bump it down.
Check your wiener. Check my
Check
penis.
in Discord settings because it looks like it's doing it in Discord.
Damn.
After that other half a week, I asked my mom, do you know when I'm getting out, like in a few days or something? And she's like, your social worker said that it's me at least another 2 weeks. So I didn't like that, so I left.
Okay.
The fact that Antonio ran from social care in the first place, essentially because he didn't like being there, gives detectives a good idea of the kind of kid he really is. Defiant and insubordinate, with a complete disregard for authority.
Do you know what you were doing Monday? Where you were at, where you were staying? Were you at home, or where were you at on Monday during the day?
I'm quite sure I was sleeping till like at least 2, and then I started walking around.
Where did you? So Sunday night you slept?
Antonio began.
Everyone that's watching, can you guys help me out with the goal up there to keep me drinking? I got beer here. Can we make some more progress on the goal? $15 more, and we're halfway on the goal up there. There's a link that's pinned at the top of the chat. Help me, guys. Help me.
Begins furiously scratching his leg, a new stress adapter. Skin scratching is closely associated with stress. When a person is feeling pressured, the body sends signals to immune cells to release chemicals like histamine, which can trigger inflammation and cause itching. Most adults are aware that a lot of fidgeting can make themselves appear anxious and, as such, might try to stifle those behaviors in order to appear more innocent. A young teen, on the other hand, may lack insight into their own behavior and may not realize that detectives are analyzing their every move. Aware of his discomfort, detectives press forward with questioning about what exactly he did over the weekend.
Where were you sleeping at Sunday night?
I was, let's see, where I wasn't home.
It's peculiar that Antonio's having a hard time recalling this information, considering that Sunday would have only been 4 days prior. Rather than trying to remember, it's more likely that he's trying to think of a suitable answer to give detectives.
Quite sure I stayed at a friend's house that night.
Red flags go up as Antonio resorts back to giving undescriptive and vague answers, an indicator that he might be nervous about this particular line of questioning or withholding information. Note also the pitch of his voice as he answers.
Quite sure I stayed at a friend's house that night.
This is called upward or rising inflection when someone's statement ends on a higher pitch
How do I
than
sound
it
now?
started. This often
You
happens.
sound like a doofus.
Sound better?
Maybe. Tell me how much
Maybe.
you love me, Gene.
You're the most irritating piece of shit imaginable, and you're one of the most toxic, kind of deleterious friends out there. And I should
I
probably
don't know
cut
what
ties with you.
deleterious is.
Yeah.
But what's
If you're a dumb
deleterious?
fuck,
Ah!
you need to work on your lexicon because
What's a lexicon?
you're very limited when it comes to your verbal fluency.
Is that a Pokemon? Lexicon?
Yes.
Yay! I know a new Pokemon.
You're like cognitively deficient,
what?
and you should look at yourself like you're just some worthless, pathetic piece of offspring.
That's it. Get him out of here, Red Eye.
And your family should disown
British
you.
guy. Get him out of here, Red Eye.
All right,
You should
Jen, follow
feel
me to the
bad.
exit, please. Come on now.
That you subject your family to your existence.
Gene's so
Wow.
mean to me, Red Eye. I'm victim Bisky.
He is a bully.
I'm not a bully. Shad brings it on himself. He deserves it.
Bah!
Wow.
Bah! What a jerk, right, Timmy?
You're goddamn right.
Yeah,
Oh,
Timmy
Timmy's here.
agrees. Yeah. He needs to turn his camera on. Timmy, turn your camera on. It'll make me feel better. I have to deal with this bully named Gene. Gage, help me out with the dank goal up there. Cool guy.
When someone is asking a question, or if they aren't sure about what they're saying. It's a red flag that Antonio's inflection rises when he's making this statement, because most people would be able to confidently answer whether or not they stayed at a friend's house a few nights ago. As he finishes this statement, he looks directly at the detective, possibly to see if the detective seems to believe what he said.
Well, today's Thursday. It wasn't that long ago, right? So do you know which friend it was that you stayed
Very
at?
ugly
Sunday night?
jumpsuit.
I'm gonna say probably
Duh.
Nathan.
And what's his last name?
Pop.
We have to pause here. What Antonio doesn't know is that detectives have already spoken to his friend Nathan at length about what happened on Monday afternoon.
Ooh, doesn't he look like an
In
alpha
fact,
there?
detectives had paid Nathan a visit at his home only the day
looks
before
cool,
to discuss
Gene.
the ongoing
Yeah.
investigation. It turns out that Nathan told a completely different version of what happened on the night of Monday, September 17th. Now, detectives are
They
looking-
really
wait,
planned this
so-
whole thing out. Don't since you
Red
love
Eye.
it.
Brigitte Blue says you need to come on video.
It's true. That'll bring in the big views.
Yeah, I do not have a camera, so can't do it. So I'm sorry, mate.
In 2023, Red Eye does not own a camera. Just remember that, guys.
Well, he ain't no
Remember
conformist.
that.
of the two is lying.
Remember that.
The following interrogation takes place on Wednesday, September 19th, just hours after Barbara was found.
All right, Nate. We're here to talk with you, and we want to talk to you because we understand that you are friends or somehow associated with a person by the name of Antonio Barbo.
Yeah.
Tino. I understand he goes by the name Tino?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're friends with Tino?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, when's the last time you think you saw Tino?
Yesterday.
Yesterday? And where was that at?
Just down on the corner of this block.
Did you
Yeah, his
expect to
grandmom's
see him when
house.
you were leaving your house?
No.
Did you know that Tino was a runaway?
Yeah.
Do you know how long he had been a runaway for?
Yeah. Since last week, Friday.
And did he run away from
Wait, so
home?
he's a
or-
runaway.
Is he?
He's a runaway from what?
A social, what was it called?
Service?
What was it, guys? Red Eye, do you remember what it was?
What did he say? Social service?
Yeah, social services, I think it was,
Yeah.
or some
Yeah.
description.
Okay, yeah. He was supposed to stay there for an extra like week or something, and he wasn't cool with it, so he left. He ran
So
away.
why is he there? Like, was it because of his?
Because he gets
Like
in trouble
parent?
normally. I guess he's normally getting in trouble, which isn't a surprise.
Does he live at his house?
No, he was in shelter care.
In shelter care?
Yeah.
Okay.
But-
Shelter
and
care.
He had to stay for another 2 weeks, and he decided just to leave. And that was like right after school. He started to run because his mom picks him up. So he just decided to go to the other side of the building.
Okay, Nate. So in that time frame between Friday when he ran away after school until yesterday, did you see him in that time frame between that Friday?
Yeah.
When did you see him?
Sunday and Saturday and yesterday.
So you saw him every day since he ran away?
Yeah, pretty much.
There's a second of hesitation before Nathan reveals that he'd been with Antonio on Monday, the day of the murder. He was likely debating whether to lie or be honest about seeing Antonio that day. Not only is he being stared down by police, but he likely knows that Antonio is in custody already. What he doesn't know is whether he's spoken to the police already or what all he might have told them.
Until one of my neighbors, who was actually related to me, noticed it. And then,
Noticed what?
they noticed that I was like staying at his house
Oh, okay.
when there was a warrant out for my arrest and all that.
And when was that again?
That would be the day that, when was that? The day that I got picked back up would be 2 days ago.
Both boys tell the same story, that Antonio stayed at Nathan's at night on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, and that they spent their days just walking around.
Oh no, Monday, I remember Nathan had to go to school. So I was sitting in the house all day.
At his house?
Yeah, I was watching TV most of the day. And like keeping track
Here,
of
Shab, I
work
gotta
'cause
take
he
another
was at
piss. Be
school
right
and all
back.
that. I remember I was sitting.
What a dork. Guys, help me out with the goal or Timmy's gonna puke himself. He pukes when we don't hit the goal.
It's true.
He turns bulimic. You don't want a skinny Timmy. Timmy, he's so skinny. Gene's not peeing, he's shooting up. Probably. He's probably doing both. Probably shooting up pee. What a dork. Raisin, BBB was supposed to be my drinking buddy this stream. Cause Red Eye's too much of a pussy. But BBB left.
I resemble that remark. Wait, what?
What? Shut up. Give me some of your corn on the cob.
No.
Does your corn on the cob grow differently than here in America?
Yes, it grows down towards the ground.
What? It's trying to come here where it's cool and awesome. Not in your
Yep.
stupid place where kangaroos are shitting all over your lawn and stuff. Kicking the shit out of people's dogs.
Wow.
Ruby, you having a good day, babe? Yeah, they're upside down, Blue. What a bunch of weirdos. Who would be upside down?
You're so rude. I'm going to go to the kitchen and make something to eat.
No, you.
Who's upside down?
Australians.
Oh.
Bunch of weirdos.
They're watching
People
TV
that
most of
like
the day.
are in
Something at home.
Antarctica are like upside down.
No, it's only Australia. You need to learn your something self, Gene. Dude, why did Gage not help me with the goal? Raisin! He'll listen to you. Raisin, yell at Gage to help me with the goal.
Stop pestering people.
No, I need the goal!
What do you think this is? Some kind of business?
I'm trying to run a fucking business.
Yeah.
Rubbing the front of the neck is a common soothing technique as it stimulates the vagus nerves and sends signals to your brain to slow down your heart rate. People do this subconsciously when they're feeling insecure or threatened.
Oh, Shabba down in some pills.
Neck rubbing, Antonio tells detectives they can check the school's records to prove that Nathan was at school on the day of the murder. This is an example of a qualifying statement or an add-on that is meant to increase the credibility of a claim. However, qualifying statements are, ironically, a common indicator of dishonesty.
And I'm quite sure we just walked around a little bit, came back, watched TV because it was already late by then.
And this is Monday, what, afternoon or evening or what?
Yeah, like around after school.
Did you stay overnight again Monday night then? That is Monday?
Yeah, Monday night I stayed, and then Tuesday, I think he decided not to go to school, but I didn't know that till I woke up. And then we got up, started walking around.
Antonio is recalling a lot of detail about his time at Nathan's house, when just a few minutes ago, he appeared to be struggling to remember where he was on Sunday night. This type of omission can be considered an example of memory of extremes, which describes when a suspect remembers details of less pertinent events, but will then claim to be unable to recall details of an event that occurred, say, only 4 days ago.
And then that's when Ethan came over. Like, he was like, hey, Tino, like,
Some
I haven't seen
selective
you for a while, that
memory.
type of stuff. And then he was kind of like next to me, but a little behind me, so I didn't see it. And then he just like grabbed me, and then he just yells, I got him. I remember then they called my mom. She came and picked me up. She talked with my, I think it's attorney. And then she talked with him, and he said just to stay at my house for the night.
Oh,
And then in the morning, just to come over there.
Paragon coming through with 758. Don't tell me what to do, he said. Thank you, Pear. Guys, be like Paragon and help me out with the cool guy goal. Please, guys. We're almost halfway on the goal.
Gun.
Gage Paragon.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Thought you were like doing the little spoof on Two Guns.
No. But that is kind of funny, Paragon. A Paragon.
Why is Gage showing up to your streams but not my streams?
I don't know. I feel like I barely see him in my streams anyways. But he's here, and he queer. Get used to it. Okay?
He doesn't love us.
He love me. Okay? Guys, be like Gage and help me with the goal. Help me with the goal, please.
And we have our like session or whatever it was, like where we were talking about the case.
Okay.
So we went to my house, stayed there for the night.
That was
And-
Tuesday?
Yeah, and then yesterday morning at I think like 9:30, we went there and then we talked with him about my case, and then he was checking to see if there was warrants for my arrest, which there was. So then he was talking to my social worker, and then I came here, and then they said today at 11:15 I have my hearing deciding where I go.
Who else is Tino hang out with?
He used to hang out with Nick, but they're not friends anymore.
You know why they don't hang out anymore?
He broke into his house before.
Who broke into whose house before?
Tino
Broke into
Nick.
Antonio's pattern of shamelessly violating the rights of others is another sign of possible conduct disorder. It's usually diagnosed during childhood and can be a precursor for antisocial personality disorder as an adult. Kids with conduct disorder consistently display behavior.
He has like a baby face and everything. I know he's young, but it seems like if he was in prison, he'd get like eaten alive.
Well, he's only 13, yeah. Just a little kid. He wouldn't even be able to go to prison. Or I guess maybe if he got tried as
juvenile
an adult.
prison.
Oh, juvenile.
No, juvenile detention center. It's like, God, look at you being pedantic.
Well, I'm sorry. All right.
Behavior such as aggression towards people and animals, destruction of property, deceitfulness or theft, and the frequent violation of rules. Though he checks off multiple boxes, to our knowledge, Antonio has not been diagnosed with conduct disorder.
What do you know about that, Nate?
I know he took money, and I don't remember the time.
How long
Conduct
haven't they
disorder is
been
pretty
banned?
much bad kid
A couple
disorder.
weeks now.
Did this happen right after he broke into the house?
It happened a while ago, but I think they just found out like 2 weeks ago.
Do you know how Nick found out?
They set up cameras.
So he broke into their house more than once?
Yeah,
Do you know how many times that,
4.
4 times that he
4
broke
times.
into Nick's house?
Yeah,
How do you know that?
I was just
I don't know.
Nathan is very evasive.
Sometimes
about his
you can just
involvement
count
in
on one
breaking into
hand.
Nick's
It's not
house.
That's
that much.
crazy. He didn't even break into his friend's house just once. He did it 4 fucking times. Breaking into his friend's house to steal money. Wonder why they're not friends anymore. Wonder why Nick doesn't want to hang out with him, huh?
Well, I mean, if you're a minor, you can't really get a job, so how else are you going to get money for like Game Boy games?
I told you this is where the story was going. Like, look what he'll do for a little bit of change for weed or liquor like that. He's breaking into
Did you ever steal money when you were a kid?
I may have done such a thing.
But
I never murdered anybody.
A couple times, like you see a $20 bill there, it's like you give in the temptation to just grab it and take your pocket. But I think
I used to be a
100%
bit of a
people have
bad
done that.
kid, and that's why I understand somewhat. Like, that's why I thought that's what the direction was going. Because any time I ever did anything bad,
Chad had homicidal
it was time I ever did anything bad, it was stealing for drugs or alcohol or whatever. Like, that's all it was ever. Trying to get money so I can buy some weed or some alcohol or whatever, and I knew that's the direction this was going. It's already like, oh yeah, he broke into his friend's house 4 times to steal money. What do you think he was stealing money for, Timmy?
Did he got caught like every time, or does his friend just know?
He must have caught him on the 4th time, and then he got away with it 3 times, it looks like, and then on the 4th time, the friend finally caught on and put in some cameras, or put up some cameras in their house. But yeah, it's when you're this age, that's what that's at least for me. When I was 13, it's like I want weed or I want to drink beer or whatever. That's the only reason I'd want to take people's money.
House. Up until this point, he talked about the break-ins as if Antonio was acting alone. He only confessed to being there when he was directly questioned about the information he knew. He seems to be trying to deflect all the responsibility onto Antonio when he was also present and very likely complicit in the crime.
Were you caught on camera too?
Like I
then,
said,
Nate?
they just need to tell him, like, listen, we know you and your friend did it. Like, if you just sign this, like, we'll get you off if you just admit that it was your friend.
Yeah, they're working their way up to it.
Your friend already said it was you.
Yeah, your friend already told us everything.
Angled in this many legal issues at such a young age is an indication that these behaviors likely would have continued and developed into a criminal career without the proper intervention. The greatest thing of note here is that Nathan has engaged in criminal behavior with Antonio multiple times before. They've begun to establish a pattern of behavior that the two of them have when they're together. The combination of their personalities might have made them capable of doing things together that they might not have done alone. After almost an hour of being interviewed, It's suspicious that Nathan hasn't inquired as to why the detectives are there. Even more odd is the fact that Nathan's mother is present.
So you should try to make friends with people that have similar hobbies and interests that you do. Said you should try to make friends with people that have similar hobbies and interests that you do.
Yeah, I need to find more pothead friends.
Yeah.
Troy Doe! Troy Doe!
Attorney or ask any questions. This is a possible indicator that Nathan and his mom are used to dealing with law enforcement in relation to his past conduct.
So you guys got caught on camera a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Did Nick or Nick's family call the police?
Yeah.
And they're fucking loud, Shab.
What is?
I said you're loud. With all that noise, opening the bottle and stuff, and putting the beer down.
You're
Since he ran
lying.
away on Friday, you talked about when you saw him and that.
Yeah.
And, I mean, aside from the time that he stayed overnight at your house on Saturday and left on Sunday, it seems like it was pretty limited. So you guys didn't have an opportunity to go out and get into any trouble, did you?
No.
Okay. You guys didn't do anything against the law
No.
together since Friday?
No.
Did he tell you that he did anything against the law?
But we did jaywalk.
The detective is hoping that Nathan will take the bait and at least admit to Antonio having done something illegal, but he continues to deny. At this point, detectives have dedicated about an hour to asking ancillary questions. Once she begins digging deeper into the crime in question, there's a good possibility that either Nathan won't be as generous with information, or that he or his mother might request a lawyer. With those possibilities in mind, the detective is likely making sure that she extracts all the information she can get out of him before the real questioning begins.
And Nathan's mom, when was she around? Does she work or?
She does work, but it sometimes varies. She does a lot of overtime. Otherwise, I think she usually works Monday to Friday till like 3, I think.
Antonio seems to know a considerable amount about Nathan's mom's work schedule. He even notes the occasional overtime. This knowledge has probably
Takes
helped him and
notes.
his friend Nathan sneak around in the past.
Dude,
Would there be any reason
isn't
at
he
all
like
that
pragmatic?
some of
He
these
applies a
people
lot of
would-
forward thinking.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really good with all the Machiavellianism. You got to really plan out your crimes.
He's smart. He knows a lot about his friend's mom.
You got to survey your victims, survey their surroundings. Got to determine what's the right time to strike to commit the crime.
Gene, would you be scared if I striked you with my wiener?
No.
You wouldn't be scared of my wee-wee? You'd want that?
No, because I know you'd die in the process.
If I touched you with my wee-wee, I'd die?
Yeah,
Oh, shit.
you attempting
Is that why
to...
girls don't like you too much?
No, you attempting to take your pants off without your mother there to help you. You would just fall over and hit your head and die.
Oh. Well, I think it's your mother that helps me regularly with that, but,
She's dead.
yeah, that was a little too rough. All right, back to the...
Talked to would have said that you would
It
have
was a little too
not
rough.
necessarily been at Nathan's on Monday afternoon.
No, because no one knew where I was. That's why I was missing.
Okay. Were you in any vehicles at all at any time? Do you have any other friends that have cars or vehicles of any kind that you were with?
Nate, I remember Nate's mom has a car, and he took the car, and I was in it once, and we went one time around the block.
Antonio may be trying to appear open and honest by confessing to the relatively insignificant crime of underage driving. In reality, he's only emphasizing his disregard for rules and the safety of others. His ability to get away with reckless activities of this caliber is evidence of an apparent lack of parental supervision. Antonio is being raised by a single mother, which makes it nearly impossible to have eyes on him every hour of the day. If a
Now,
single
wasn't it
parent
like
doesn't have a
one of
strong
his
support
aunts
system
that
with which to
found his great-grandmother? It said it was a daughter, so I guess it was his grandmother found his great-grandmother.
Yeah, you're probably right, because, it was a great-grandma. Have you guys ever met your great-grandmothers? grandma?
Yeah, but
I've never met a great anything.
Yeah, I had some great grandparents. My one great grandmother, she passed away like a few years ago, so she was in her 80s or 90s, and then on my mother's side, she had another great grandmother that passed away when I was like in elementary school, like 7 or 8.
And my great grandparents, I don't know. I assume maybe they were alive when I was real young. I don't know. But
yeah, all my great grandfathers were dead. Before I could remember or whatever. But I had 2 great grandmothers that lived decent. They lived for quite a long time. And the one, she smoked all the fucking time, so it's shocking how long she lived. And she was completely like mobile and everything, like up until like she passed away.
Yeah, what a cool girl. Let's see, Troy, help me out with the dank goal on the screen here. The link is pinned at the top of the chat. Let's get halfway, guys. We're almost halfway.
He's a child. There is a significantly higher risk of that
Whoa,
child developing
Ruby.
behavioral issues of some sort. The time his mom spends at work or taking care of other matters explains these wide windows of opportunity that Antonio has to engage in these illegal and dangerous activities.
You with Nathan?
Yeah.
What kind of a car is that?
It's pretty crappy red car. I don't know what it's called.
Right now,
I
what
assume
they're
it's
talking
not a
about
new car,
there,
it's an older one? Or?
Yeah, so.
like a young like boy that doesn't have like a male like role model in the home and stuff, that actually is one of the strongest or indicators of like a kid being involved in crime and everything. And I mentioned that once on the stream, people are like freaking out. It was like in Lev stream, people in the chat were freaking out. And it's like, well, that's a statistic. When you look into all the research behind like crime with youth and stuff, that's always brought up.
Yeah.
But I guess you're generalizing if you talk about like single mothers and everything. How dare you?
Yeah.
They don't need a male role model. That's sexist.
It's easy to run around and cause trouble when your mom's gone most of the day.
Yeah. And a lot of it has to do with, they're overworked in America.
He's left at home all day. Like he said he was talking about his friend's mom, but his mom probably comes home at 10 o'clock at night or some bullshit like that. So he has just all day to do what he wants. And she has to work to pay the bills. So he's just up to no good if he wants to be. And apparently he wanted to be. Ruby asked the best questions. What?
I never met my great grandparents or great grandparents because they died in the Great Mango Famine.
Wow, what a bunch of girls! I mean, they're great people.
It happened after the emo wars, and the emos like the contract was they had
emu war. You mean not emo?
Yeah, the emus.
Yeah, he said emo war.
Yeah.
The emo war over mangoes.
The emos rised up.
Emos versus mangoes.
Give it to our demands and we'll cut ourselves.
Where is Mango?
There was a guilty verdict in one of the trials that she's been watching, so I think they're all sitting there going, "Yep, guilty."
What a bad person. She should be here cheering me on.
All the mangoes to the emus. That was one of the.
Oh, she's right there. Shut up, guys.
There she is.
You wanna come on the stream, Mango, so I could talk to you and the rest of these guys can sit here and listen to us because we're more important than them?
Well, I don't know. The other day, she said she was going to come on my stream, and then she didn't show up. It was when, like, you were gone.
Yeah, that's why she didn't show up.
Me with Red Eye.
I wonder why she didn't show up, Red Eye.
She asked in my Discord if she wanted to come on. I'm like,
yeah, she was about to show up, and then she's like, wait. Shabisky is in Seattle? He's not even that. Oh, never mind. I'm sick or whatever. I'm busy. I lost internet, actually. Didn't get it back till 4 a.m. That's a good excuse.
I think it was Shab. I think he DDoSed her or something.
It was because I was gone. We love you, Gene. Aw, Ruby. Ruby's being a sweetie pie.
Oh. I need more love, less hate.
Oh, damn. Oh, damn. Let's see. Let me look real quick here. Okay.
Older car. And then
When was that Nathan drove around and you were at?
I think Sunday.
And Nathan was driving it? You were in it? Where did you go then?
Just around the block once.
Would there be any reason at all that when we've talked with people, and like I said, we've talked to a bunch of people and we're still talking to people, that anyone would say that you would have been at your grandma's? Great-grandma's, I'm sorry?
No, I had no reason to.
The detective asks Antonio what's known as a bait question to see how he'll respond or if he'll at least admit to being close to the crime scene.
Who's
It's
baiting
interesting
him?
that his answer emphasizes the idea that he had no business in that area rather than a simple no.
I mean, people would have known I was there. I wouldn't have just randomly been there.
So you're straight out saying, and you had said before that the last time you saw her at all was at least a month ago?
Yeah.
So you would straight out be saying that if anybody said that they specifically saw you at your great-grandma Barb Olson's house anytime within the past 2-3 weeks or something, that they're lying?
Yeah.
The suspect clearly seems unconfident in his answer here. Innocent individuals are usually definite and forceful in their answers, especially if they're being accused
saying
of
I got a
something.
smile. I've smiled throughout the stream. Giving him some smiles.
He's happy when he hears about murder, Raisin. It makes him jolly and happy because he's a weird guy.
One of my favorite uplifters.
Mango, come on the stream with me. Oh, there she is.
Wait, she's in Godshab.
There we are. All right, you shut up, Gene. Okay, the real star is here, Mango. Yep, Mango the superstar. It's true.
Nah, I'm okay.
You're a fucking superstar, Mango. Okay, don't be modest.
Dude, chat's trying to be assertive.
Yeah, no, I am. I'm assertive as heck, yo.
You got a slap chat across the face.
Mango, what'd you think about my cool IRL streams lately? Did you enjoy them at all? Were you watching much?
They were cool.
All right, they sucked. I get it.
Yeah, they're pretty boring.
I get it. Fine.
You weren't finishing all your meals, so you're encouraging people to waste food. And we live in a world where you got all these food shortages, all these kids starving to death overseas, and all that food you're putting it to waste.
You're lying. Oh, damn. Oh, damn. So, guys, let's get halfway on the goal. $7.50, and we're halfway. We could do that. Gage did $7.50.
On the other hand, individuals who aren't completely guilt-free will give characteristically vague and weak answers that display their uncertainty.
You know if any of the people that live by your great-grandma
like, that's
know
not
you
just with
from seeing you there?
like crime. That's typically like a lot of people have like cluster B personality disorders do that. It's like an argument via ambiguity. And people are full of shit and they like to engage in mental gymnastics. It's like, oh, like they're just being a dick. How are they being a dick? They're being a dick. It's like just use very vague and broad and arbitrary words and don't give any specific examples.
Yeah, but it's I guess that's a similar thing. It's just like he's being asked.
It's mental gymnastics. It's just use vague language to give non-answers.
Well, yeah, he's trying to say no, but at the same time he adds things on, and I don't know. But yeah, I guess you're right. What do you think, Mango? She doesn't think.
I like that input.
No, I don't think at all.
I'm kidding.
What? There's another person in the chat.
You guys need to turn your cameras on.
Room.
You don't have to, but you should. It's highly encouraged. Okay? You see me on camera.
Chad, look, there's somebody else who wants to come on.
Who? What stupid bitch? Oh, it's a bird. Ooh, it's a bird. Is that the real bird? Is that the real bird? The real one with the pee-pee?
The cloaca.
The cloaca. This 13-year-old kid did absolutely nothing wrong. He's completely innocent, and people are trying to put the blame on him.
It's a golden child.
Yep. He's done nothing wrong.
His grandmother murdered his great-grandmother.
His grandma murdered herself, okay, and put a blanket over her head. And first drug herself through the house, and then put a blanket over her head, and they're trying to blame it on him, the poor little guy.
Yeah, she was being suicidal, but she hated her grandson so much. Little shit. So
I'm gonna make it look like he did it.
Yes. 2 birds, 1 stone.
Oh God.
Go out
God.
Bang.
Everyone, turn your camera on. Timmy, Mango, the bird. Yeah, look at the bird.
Anything?
No, I don't think so. I don't know any of them.
Would there be any reason that somebody would say that they saw someone about your size, height, with that type of a haircut at your great-grandma's house?
With the
In
beaver
the past
haircut.
week?
In the past, no.
Would you say, Baby Boo?
No, yeah, it's like with seeing somebody with that haircut. I'm like, well, the Bieber haircut.
Yeah, he's like, bro, like everyone in my school has this haircut. Huh.
I don't know.
They don't got me.
I've always grown my hair out, and I know people will be like I guess I'm not one to talk, but I don't know. When I see those kind of like the way they cut their hair and everything, and the way they comb it, it's the signature douche haircut.
It's just like little skater boy shit.
Yeah, but a lot of like the skater kids, it will be kind of a bit more messy or whatever, like more natural, like the way they comb it and part it and stuff. It just seems it's a bit too glossy and everything.
They're hecka cools.
Yeah.
What do you think, Timmy?
Yeah, this guy probably used to get all that 13-year-old girls.
Yeah, he gets all the.
Oh, never mind.
He's saying he gets all the 13-year-old girls. Yeah, with his
13-year-old boy gets the 13-year-old girls. Good. Okay.
With his cool guy hair that looks like a hat. Heck
Bieber
yeah,
hair.
his Bieber hat hair.
That's what girls that age probably like, because like all those like Disney pop stars had like that kind of like Onision has that kind of glossy hair, like kind of haircut.
Yeah, he's a cutie pie, that Onision guy.
Yeah,
it's unclear whether anyone truly
No, bad.
told police that they saw someone who looked like Antonio around Barbara Olson's house. Police will often reference evidence that they don't actually possess in order to get a suspect to confess. This maneuver is both legal and commonly used in the interrogation of suspected criminals.
Okay, so you're straight out saying that you weren't there and they must be mistaken or lying or something.
Yeah.
Do you have any enemies that for any reason at all would lie about something like that? Especially if there was a serious incident involving your great-grandma that they would want to point the police to you, basically?
Not really. For sure not in Falls, because I barely go there. And then in Sheboygan, I really don't have that many enemies. I tend to get along with most people pretty easily.
Do you have a job or anything that you can make money, or do you get paid an allowance or anything like that?
We were talking about allowance, but then
He's like 13, so he's not even legally old enough to get like a work permit. I don't know, maybe you could, but
yeah.
I know in most cases it's like 14.
He obviously does. I don't know. It's good for him to ask this because of motive and everything. Because I right off the bat, I'm like, the motive is fucking money or drugs.
Yeah, and when it comes to like work permits and stuff, every state is very different in terms of that. Like 14, 15, you can work so many hours, and you can only work up to like 3 or 4 hours on school days and stuff like that. Like they're very specific, but that law does not apply if it is a family owned and run business. If your dad owns a company or a restaurant or something and you're like 9, 10 years old, you can legally do work at that company because your family owns it. It's a family-run business, and that's the only way that you're going to be able to maintain employees.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, they're just asking questions before they get to the motive and stuff.
Yeah. Like weed's illegal and stuff, so you need to have like a weed farm and just have a bunch of kids, have them collect all the crops and everything.
Whoa, Gene,
and then
calm
homeschool
down.
them.
On Minecraft. Gene's
okay.
a bad person.
What?
Okay.
It's completely legal.
Your mom's legal.
Finished it. Like, finished talking about it.
The detective suspects that there might be a financial motivation behind what happened to Antonio's great-grandmother.
So, if you need something, if you need new clothes, if you want some soda, if you want something like that, does your mom give you the money, or how does that work, or you just don't get it, or what?
Like, if it's not that much, my mom will usually get it, but otherwise, I really don't get stuff.
Antonio's answer indicates that he comes from a low-income household.
He gets
Oftentimes,
stuff.
young people who commit.
He just gets it through more nefarious means.
Huh.
Theft and similar crimes do so largely because of deprivation. This is concerning when combined with the fact that Antonio has demonstrated that he has no problem breaking the law in order to get his way.
If I were to tell you that your
Well,
great-grandma
to be
Barb
fair,
Olson was
who
killed,
doesn't break the law? It's like the average person breaks 3 laws a day. Did you know that?
I don't know shit, Gene.
Wow.
Yeah.
I don't know shit, Gene. I ain't ever
That's probably
broke a
'cause
law.
Yeah, that's probably because driving like 5 miles over the speed limit is technically breaking the law. But hey, before cars, Benjamin Franklin said that it's impossible for anybody to go an entire lifetime with at least breaking a few laws.
I've never broken a law in my life, Gene.
Yeah.
Ever.
Rosa Parks, she broke the law by not like.
Wow,
getting
what
up
a
to
what a
protect the
criminal.
laws. Oscar
Okay.
Schindler, he broke the law, not hiding all the Jews.
What a bunch of criminals.
Benjamin Franklin broke the law, siding with all the rebels and engaging
What a
in acts of
bad
sedition
person.
against the government.
What a bad guy.
That he has no.
Screw Benjamin Franklin. Screw him.
Harriet Tubman, she broke the law.
Whoever
by-
that is, fuck them
Yeah.
too. Okay? Fuck
She was
all
a
these
slave,
criminals.
and she broke the law by not staying on her plantation.
Tired of these evil piece of shit criminals. Okay? Running their criminal enterprises. Bastards.
You have to be like those soldiers in Germany during World War II, where they followed through with their orders because they were
Those were
law-abiding citizens.
Yes, those were good law-abiding citizens.
Because the law always equates to
What's
being
right.
morally and ethically
Yes.
sound. Exactly.
Yes, that's how
Logic.
morals work.
The law in order to get his way.
if I were to tell you that your great-grandma Barb Olson was killed, would that surprise you?
This could be the freeze response. When someone encounters a threat, they may stop all movement so they don't draw unnecessary attention to themselves. Most innocent individuals would express shock, surprise, or sadness at hearing that a family member was killed. But Antonio appears to be frozen and
Shad.
shows no visible reaction.
With like fight or flight, there's like 4 responses a person can have to fight or flight. So the name's kind of misleading. So there's fight, flight, freeze. Do you know what the 4th one is?
Freeze, flight.
Fart?
Fart. I think it's fart.
Play dead? Oh yeah, that's what I do.
Yeah.
I just
It's like
yeah,
part of
curl
the
up on the
fart.
ground.
You fart. I think you're dead. Oh, he stinks like a dead thing. I'm out of here.
Well, I think like a lot of animals, it's like they all have it, but some animals like pretty much will do flight like 90-something% of the time. Then there's animals that will play dead some percentage of the time, but all mammals have to some degree. So that could happen. Like it's that 0.001% where you just instinctively play dead.
I think this kid is still alive. Oh, John.
Yeah, Gene, you
I
dork.
think he's playing dead.
Some interesting trivia. The more you know, we're learning.
Oh, I know what one of the things is for fight or flight. It's throw your shit. You shit in your hand and you fling it at the enemy. Wait, no, that's part of flight.
No,
oh, whatever.
That's
that's
fighting.
fight.
That's shit fighting.
No, that's flinging.
Flinging, yeah, Gene, you got it all. Stop being
variation
stupid,
of
Gene.
fighting.
No, you're dumb. All right.
Action.
There's the
Someone
stages
who's
of
guilty.
fear responses is farting, then flinging.
Yes.
Wait, bonobos, when they're like, they just immediately have sex, so maybe that's like a fifth one we should consider.
That's what I like to do.
It's just fuck.
Yeah. Oh, Red Eye was saying something the other day about that.
Yeah, bonobos, they rub their dicks together, they rub their clits together, they do it all.
That's hot.
Our sex-based society, maybe we could learn from them. There's never been
Bonobo conflict resolution. I've been fucking promoting this for a long time. I don't understand why we aren't seeing the leader of the Ukraine and Vladimir Putin rubbing junk and humping each other's legs.
You guys are getting me horny. Stop it. You dirty boys.
No, but bonobos, like, they're under stress. Fuck. That's the immediate
See,
reaction.
they're living life
and
right.
They're run by women, so I don't know. Like, look
okay,
at
never
chimpanzees,
mind.
they're
They
run
have
by
things
men.
ass backwards. Okay,
No, but
never mind.
chimpanzees, their societies are run by men, and they're a war-based society. Bonobos are run by women, and it's all about peace and tranquility and sex.
That's hot. All right, more video.
You may feel panicked when they find out the victim has been found because they're worried about getting caught. Momentarily freezing is one way the body handles stress until the brain can kick in and decide what the best course of action is.
Would you have any idea at all how that could have happened?
No.
No idea at all.
No.
I take it you're not real close to her as far as hearing that news and just...
I mean, as I said, I never, like, talked to her that often.
As I said, is a referral statement and may be used by suspects to make their story sound more credible. Referral statements build on the idea of repetition. The more you hear something, the more believable it may seem. Antonio needs to find a way to explain why he doesn't appear upset about his grandma.
Just imagine this grandma hugging her little grandson, not knowing that, like, 4 years later or something after this, or 5, that little kid is gonna kill you. It's just crazy.
Turn your face into, like, putty.
Yeah. Who the fuck would look at this picture and think, oh, yeah, that kid's gonna kill that old lady here in a couple of years or whatever. It's just mind blowing. You know, he's just this cute little kid. It's like you never think fucking.
I don't think he's cute. I knew a kid that was like him in middle school, and that kid was a dick. So I don't know.
Oh damn!
See, that's why I advocate for very, very late-term abortions.
Gene thinks all white kids look the same. Gene's a jerk.
No, I just think all, like, douchey kids look the same.
Stop! It is horrible having you on the stream sometimes because you're
Why do you care so
horrible
much
at-
about that? God, take a
Because
joke,
you're
Chad.
What?
You're such a killjoy.
Mango, what do you think about his?
Am I appearance shaming? Do you think I'm engaging? I'm going too far?
I think it's as a weird direction to take it. At the very least, so it's a weird direction to take it. Like, yeah, you see that? You see that little 7-year-old kid? I think they look stupid. Okay, they look fucking dumb. Okay, you know, all kids like that are the fucking same. They're a bunch of jerk dorks. It's like
you don't think maybe you could tell through somebody's appearance?
No!
that maybe they're dumb fuck? You don't think so?
And I don't think you can tell by looking at this picture of this little kid. It could be a million different little kids.
Somebody who has like a Neanderthal like brow or whatever, or somebody who has like some kind of deformity. They might look like they have some chromosome disease, so they might be kind of slow.
Wow.
Okay,
Gene takes things in a real weird direction.
But I didn't
Don't
say
you
he
agree,
looked like
Mango?
he was- I didn't say he looked like he was stupid. I just said he looks like he's a douche, because I knew one other kid that looked like him who was a douche, so there has to be a connection.
He looks like a little kid with long hair.
Yeah, John,
Yeah.
are you trying to,
Jesus Christ.
Fuck. Words.
Wait, you think I'm being judgmental?
Yeah. But I think you're trying to project your own, like...
Project.
Your, like,
Damn.
childhood onto this person.
I think I'm not really being that serious, and I think you shouldn't really take it seriously.
But I do.
Oh,
I think,
shit.
to be fair, all kids that are like between the ages of 8 and 13, they all kind of look like douchebags.
Oh my god, that's so ageist.
That's
Look at
it.
how
We're
much
kicking
bigot
Mango
knows.
and Gene
Yeah.
off the show. They're horrible bigots. Okay?
Hey, like appearance shaming, that's not one of those like being a bigot towards those who are kind of ugly or not attractive. That's not one of those things that has a movement yet. So we have the LGBT movement. So now homophobia is as bad as being racist. It's still okay to be a bigot towards people for other superficial reasons that are out of their control, because we haven't had one of those movements yet to tell us that it's wrong.
I could see how, like, as he's getting older, he looks more douchey, but I don't see how you could look at the little 7-year-old kid with overgrown hair and be like, that kid's a douche.
Not a serious fucking
Look at
comment, Jesus Christ.
Look at that kid. He's a fucking douche.
He may think that if he can convince the detective that he wasn't close to her, this will explain his lack of emotion. It's important in this moment to
Let's
remember
fuck
that
Gene.
Antonio isn't the conventional suspect. He's only a teenager. Thus, the state of development that his brain is in plays a big part in his actions and reactions. Teenagers can be
Did
very
you know, according to
self-centered.
certain people, that the brain never stops developing, even though it's scientifically proven that it stops developing physically around the age of 25?
Lies. Everybody's lying. Tired of all these lies. Ooh, let me do something. Hold on a second.
God, isn't he a terrible host?
And this can be due in part to the fact
gotta
that the
poop.
prefrontal cortex, the rational part of the brain, doesn't fully develop until one is in their mid-20s. The prefrontal cortex is responsible for logical thinking and the comprehension of how one's decisions affect other people. Therefore, it's entirely possible that, though it's a tragic event, Antonio
That's
doesn't
why
feel that his
kids are
great-grandmother's
little
death affects his
sociopathic little
everyday
shits.
life, and doesn't yet have the cognitive ability to clearly see how it will affect other people, which explains his emotional detachment from the situation. Though this can't possibly explain his reaction or lack thereof in its entirety, it's worth noting.
Like, I did a little bit, but not that much.
Do you use drugs at all? Any kind of drugs?
I have done drugs, yeah.
Okay. When's the last time you used any kind of a
Who
drug?
hasn't done drugs?
At least a week ago.
The detective is clearing the possibility that Antonio might have been on drugs at the time of the murder. If he were to have committed this crime in an intoxicated state, that could open the possibility for Antonio to use the diminished capacity defense in court.
And what would that have been?
Just weed.
You haven't used any weed at all since about a week ago? Something like that?
Yeah.
Dude, what a fucking criminal.
Again, if I came and said that we've talked with people that have mentioned that you were smoking marijuana within a week, like within a day or two, what would be
I don't know how I would know,
Yeah,
because
this
when
is
I
what
do
happens
it,
when
it's
you
usually
smoke
just
weed.
by myself and like somewhere where no one's around.
See, this kid
So if
committed
somebody was
murder
talking
and
that
he
said that
smoked
they sold you
weed, so I think
weed
there's a
within that week,
correlation between being
that would be
homicidal and
why?
smoking weed.
Yeah.
Okay. And if you would take a blood test or something, that's going to come back and show that it's been at least a week?
Yeah.
This is a misleading statement from the detective. No drug test, including a blood test, can reveal exactly how long it's been since the suspect last did drugs. Rather, a drug test tells conclusively whether a person has done drugs within a certain time frame, based on whether traces of the drug are still present in their system. A blood test specifically can tell whether or not a person has smoked marijuana within the last 3 days, or up to a week for heavy users.
Have you ever been in that car?
Man, Chad would be screwed if he was in a state where weed's illegal and they pull him over.
I think I've been in the back before if she's like bringing me to my other grandma's house that's in Sheboygan Falls. But that would have been a really long time ago.
Like, what are we talking, a year? Or?
Like 4 or 5 months ago.
But it was at least 4 or 5 months since you were in that vehicle.
Yeah, it's been a really long time.
So if if we get evidence, and I'll tell you right now, we have that vehicle, and it's going to be able to show as far as fingerprints or whatever, probably, that you've been in there within 4 to 5 months.
Shut up, Gene.
Okay.
Sorry, you don't have to shut up.
Isn't Shep abusive?
Yeah?
John, are you actually outside?
Yes.
That's what I thought.
What a dork. Oh, damn.
I'm at, what is it? I went to Oceana to visit it.
Oceana.
If this claim
I think
sounds
that was
outlandish, that's
in
because it is.
1984. That was the country they were in. There was like 3 countries in that world that were all controlled by totalitarian Big Brother states.
Lies.
I think Oceana was the one he was part of.
Possible to date fingerprints. This is likely another lie to intimidate Antonio into confessing. In recent years, states across the country have begun to acknowledge that lying to minors in an interrogation is coercive and poses a much higher likelihood of yielding a false confession than if the suspect were an adult.
Well,
Some
yeah,
states
like what I
insist
mentioned
that
here.
Suspects under 15 years of
It's like they've shown that like what they do to get confessions out of people. It's like unless you're like CIA like A trained, they'll even get confessions out of people who haven't done anything. And it happens a lot where it's pretty much people confess to shit that they haven't done, and it happens more often than you think. So it is kind of like, you know what, maybe these kind of scenarios where it pretty much guarantees that whoever it is going to confess somehow, maybe it's kind of unethical and they should probably rework the system. I think I can see how like they might do it to try to get evidence, because it worked with that one guy where they probably would have never found that body and he told them exactly where the body was. So I think maybe trying to do it for that, but I don't know if like the confession should really always hold up in court.
Yeah. Evidence. It's all about evidence.
age have a parent, guardian, or other interested party present with them during questioning. This is because typically young offenders don't fully understand the gravity of the situation or their right to remain silent, which automatically gives the detective the
I
upper
think
hand
most
in a
people,
situation just
or
like
a lot of people
this.
don't know that.
I just want to make sure, you're pretty sure that's the last time you were in there, right?
Yeah.
So it shouldn't show that, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, it shouldn't show it?
Yeah.
Okay. Any of your friends ever been in that car that you're aware of?
I have no idea. I don't think so.
Hold on, did this kid,
Actually, the only friend you even talked about is Nathan, I think, right?
It just leaves the video playing,
Rubbing
so
or
we can't
covering the
pause
eyes
it.
is
and-
another indicator
well,
of
I'll
possible
fucking wait.
deception, as it can be a subconscious attempt to hide from the detective or the situation as a whole.
Where you stayed, has he ever been in that car that you're aware of? And I'm assuming you would have been with him, right? Or does he know your great grandma?
I think he's been there once.
That's your great grandma's?
Yeah, I think one of the times when I was working, he went with.
And do you remember ever being in your grandma's car, great grandma's car, I'm sorry, Barb Olson's car with your friend Nathan in the car too?
No.
Okay. So as far as you know, he's never been in that car, correct? Unless he would have been there alone, which, is that doubtful or probable?
I don't see how he would have been.
This is another example of a qualifying statement. Innocent people typically provide a more direct response, such as a simple yes or no. Instead, Antonio is being careful and giving ambiguous answers that he can later turn around and change if
See,
necessary.
Shad?
So you'd be extremely
What?
The ambiguity fallacy.
Okay, so did this kid give up his right to? Because like I'm assuming you.
They
if
read
you're a
the
minor-
Miranda rights to him.
Yeah, but still, you
Yeah, it's unethical. I don't like. We don't agree with it, but yeah, like he gave up his rights, and that is something that they are able to do. I think in most
like,
states.
at
where-
13. At 13,
Yeah.
he gave up that. No, that's
Yeah, they definitely. Yeah, something that needs to be changed. And like I said, like this is an extreme scenario when it's like a crime like murder, but in a lot of areas where there's like high crime rates and stuff, and kids will
like in Baltimore, like Detroit, where a lot of the kids are running around and it's just an employment desert. They have nothing to do. Like they'll arrest kids, and a kid might be with like a group of 4 other kids that were doing something. They didn't really do anything at all. And a lot of kids are thrown in juvie and stuff and given charges for like being guilty by association. And they don't know that they can like remain silent. So they definitely shouldn't allow them to like interrogate the kids without a lawyer present.
So was this kid, did he like straight up waive his
we
right
don't
to
know
an
yet.
attorney?
What's that? I think I think he did, because they read the Miranda rights, so they do mention that when they,
Surprised if he's been in the car, right?
Yeah.
The detective creates a long silence by pausing to take notes. This is also an interrogation strategy, as a suspect will
Now,
often find the
Shab.
quietness uncomfortable and can...
We were talking about like throwing juveniles in prison. Did you know that a child's race or like a child's like economic like level, like that's a stronger indicator and has more of a correlation of whether a kid's charged as an adult than the kind of crime that the kid commits?
Yeah, if they can run fast, they never get caught.
Yeah.
The child's race. Yeah.
Oh.
I wish I was a fast racist. I'm just a slow racist.
Do you think we should charge kids as adults?
I think we should start charging adults as kids if they're immature enough. Like if I murdered someone tomorrow, they should be like, look at this guy. He makes poop jokes and acts like a child all day. We gotta charge him as a kid. At least he's too immature.
To be fair, like when it comes to the brain doesn't stop developing until like the age of 25, and I think 18, like when you look at the science, it's a really fucking random age where this is the age that you're an adult. Like 16, you can see that around that age there's a much more significant level of development. Same thing around the age of 21, 22. So it's like and we have laws like you got to be 21 to like buy alcohol and so forth. It's like maybe we should have a different court system where it's like from the age of 16 and like 24, where it's like you're still not a complete total adult, but in the same way there's a juvenile court system, maybe we should have a separate kind of criminal system for people in that particular age range.
Yeah.
Well, hold on, John. With that, would you be okay with a 24-year-old dating a 16-year-old?
No, but
because you're considering both of them.
No, because yeah, but even if you do that, that would be like saying that, oh, because we charge 16-year-olds as juveniles, that means you think it's okay for a 16-year-old to have like sex with somebody who's like 10, and it's like, no, you can have them in a different like classification for like charges, but still it's illegal if they have sex when there's too large of an age gap. But that is something like when it comes to like, there are problems with that where you have people who are like 18, 19, and they'll have sexual relations with somebody who's like 16 or 17. And then they're charged for like, you know what, and it ruins their entire life. Yeah.
But there is something called a Romeo and Juliet law. And not all states have it. Some states do have it. So, like, let's say someone is 17 and they're dating a 16-year-old. And as soon as that 17-year-old is 18 and they're still with that 16-year-old, as long as there is an established relationship between the two of them before both of them are 18, then it's, yeah.
And like I said, 18 is a very random kind of age where it's like, this is the age where you're an adult. And like 16, there's a lot of rights you have where it's like, you have the right to refuse certain like medicine or medical treatment if you want. You can get like, what is it, emancipated at the age of 16 and 17. So like, I don't know. It's like some people argue that 16 should be the age of consent. And like...
it is in some states.
Yeah, it is. So it is kind of like I don't know. Because in the same way, it's different if you like engage in some kind of behavior when you're 16. It's like when we think of these kind of situations, there's a difference between somebody in their 30s having relations with people who are like older teens in high school compared to somebody who's in their early 20s. So it is like there's nuance there that people ignore.
You tell them, Gene. Why don't you stop talking, Gene? Okay. God.
What's that?
I'm kidding. I'm kidding, Gene.
Actually, not every state recognizes the age of 18 as being the age of majority, aka when you're an adult. There's a few states, including the state of Alabama, that consider the age of majority to be 19. So you are not legally considered an adult in those states until you're 19 years old.
Alabama's backwards to begin with, so.
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's what is it? Like Obamacare, they made it so you stay with your parents, like health insurance until you're like 25. So I do think there probably should be like we need to revise the system, and maybe 16 to like 25, you fall into some other kind of criminal like system or some kind of judicial system. I know if you're under the age of 8, they don't even, like in most states, they don't even charge you with a crime. It's the parents that are held accountable. So if your 6-year-old does something, it's the legal guardians that get charged.
Yeah, and I know in a lot of states, if you are between certain ages, it's very much between the ages of 14 and 18. If you are charged with certain crimes, it is up to the state to decide whether or not you will be tried as a juvenile or as an adult, depending on the severity of the crime. So if you commit murder, then you're charged as an adult. But if you do something like shoplift, then you're charged as a juvenile.
Yeah, and then the issue with that is like there's a day that it shows that overall, it shows that overall that your race and like your zip code is more of an indicator of whether you'll be charged as an adult than the actual crime. So that's problematic.
Lies, Shane.
That's true.
What do you think about this, Timmy?
And like I live in Baltimore, so that is something that happens where like maybe 3 kids break into a place and 1 kid's just there, and there's even hard evidence that they didn't go along with it. They just happened to be with the kids as they did it, and because they have them like they interrogate them, they end up confessing, and then they'll charge a kid as an adult because they just happened to be there when 3 other kids committed a crime. And I think like even what the 3 kids who actually did commit the crime did, they shouldn't be charged either, or they shouldn't be charged as an adult. So I think, I don't know, charging kids as adults, it should only be reserved for the most significant crimes like murder.
Thank you, John, for Timmy's opinion.
Well,
Bisky asked Timmy what his
well,
opinion
he's
was.
asleep. Yeah, he's asleep. That's what the joke.
I was making, yeah.
Oh. What was I gonna say?
Cameron's here.
I don't think the idea of charging a child as an adult even makes sense from the get-go. If they need to change the laws for when children get what's up, Cameron? If they need to change the laws around like the judicial system when it comes to children, then do that, but don't like be like, oh, if it's I think it's kind of silly that like we're gonna charge them as an adult. It's like, well, no, they're a child. How about you charge them as a child with what they did? I don't know. It just sounds like silly.
There's something like murder, and then like I don't know. Maybe it's like when they turn 18, if they do something really serious. I mean, you're up for like parole and everything, but I do think that hey, if you're 15 and you murder somebody, maybe you should spend a lot more time in prison beyond when you turn 18.
Yeah, let me go grab this food real quick. Hold on.
God. Look how flaky of a host Shab is.
Fucking Cameron comes on and Shabs just fucks off.
Exactly. Cameron has that effect on people. What do you think, Cameron? What should be the age where somebody's legally considered an adult?
21.
What about 24 or 25? Yeah, whatever.
So are we talking like voting going or enlisting in the military, drinking?
Well, I mean, prior to the age of 18, before you're even considered to be an adult, they already, you do gradually gain more rights as you get older, even as a minor. Like you come to the age where you're allowed to get a work permit. Like I said, when you're 16, yeah, you got a lot of rights. Like you can, when you're 15, 16, most states, that's the age where you can get your like learner's permit or driver's license. So it's not like when you're a minor. Yeah, it's not like you're not ever given additional rights, and it's not until you're 18 where you're given additional rights. So I think it's just like in the same way there's a juvenile court system, or like under the age of 8, the parents are held accountable. I think there should be a different system for people between the age of 16 and 25.
But how would you distinguish that? Like the difference? Is
it's the same way you got
or misdemeanors or.
Well, no, it's the same way you have criminal court for adults and you have juvenile court, and they're two different systems. You'd have a third system that's for people in that age range where they're not like little kids anymore, but their brains aren't fully developed. And I also think you should not be allowed to serve as law enforcement at all until around the age of 25. And I don't know. I don't think you should be allowed to join the military until you're 25. I think that's kind of backwards, where you can go to war and potentially be killed or kill other people, and then it's like, but you got to be 21 to drink.
But that's the military's bread and butter. Those fucking 18-year-olds who just graduated.
Jarheads.
Yep. Well, no, jarheads is Marines.
Oh.
Cameron said he hates you, Gene.
Why would you say that, Cameron?
Because you didn't help with the goal, and you suck.
Continue talking in order to break the awkward silence. However, it seems that Antonio has nothing else to say. It's worth noting that the interrogation has been going on for over half an hour, and Antonio hasn't pressed the issue of what exactly happened to his great-grandmother, how she was killed, or who could have hurt her. This line of questioning is often lacking when a person is guilty. They simply don't think to ask because they already know what happened.
So what's the most recent time you would have been in your grandma's bedroom, do you think?
Probably to go to the bathroom.
There he is, touching his face
Which would have been last time I was working.
And that was a month or so ago.
Yeah. So that would have been when I went in there to go to the bathroom.
All right. And as far as being in your grandma's room, would you have just gone in there to get to the bathroom?
Yeah. Or what? That would be it. I would have used it to go to the bathroom. Like, gone from there, went to the bathroom, came back out, went around.
And you've never seen, like if she kept her jewelry on a counter, what she would keep it in, anything like that? Do you have any idea at all?
If I had to take a guess, I'd say their bedroom like everyone else.
Antonio is yawning frequently. He could be experiencing excessive tiredness in relation to his marijuana usage, or he could genuinely be sleeping poorly in such uncomfortable conditions. An alternative explanation for the yawning could be a heightened level of anxiety, which can be relieved by delivering more air into the lungs. In fact, in just the last 30 seconds, Antonio has pursed his lips, yawned, sniffled, touched his face, and scratched both his neck and the back of his head. This is the exact kind of behavior the FBI looks for when interrogating a suspect. 3 or more stress-adapting behaviors in quick succession is considered a heavy indicator of deception. Antonio has exhibited basically every body language behavior possible for heightened levels of anxiety and stress.
He should have done his homework.
I've seen a few things on top of her dresser when I walked by.
All right,
so I don't even remember about it.
Do you know why people yawn?
Because they're tired.
No, but do you know why?
No one knows why people yawn.
No. They've found out recently it cools the brain. So when you're been up long, your brain's overheating, you're tired, it actually cools the brain. And do you know why other people yawn? Do you know why they're contagious?
Because
something with like social animals. It's because with like sleep, it screws up the entire tribe if somebody goes against the circadian rhythm of the entire tribe. So
when people start yawning, it signals to everyone else in the tribe, like, hey, it's time for bed. Yeah, the more you know.
Stop saying yawn, because I just fucking did it twice.
Yawn.
It's because you're part of our tribe.
Oh.
Reason that you would have bragged to somebody or anything about stealing a car within the past couple weeks?
No.
And again, is there any reason that somebody would say that?
I don't really know.
Instead of outright denying this time, Antonio claims he doesn't know. His answer to each bait question seems to be getting more and more uncertain as the interrogation drags on.
I haven't said that, but I don't know why someone would have said it.
Okay. Would there be any reason that there would be a text or anything that would say something like that?
I have no idea. I haven't had my phone. I haven't had my phone for like a month now. And I know Nate's phone doesn't work. And I know his mom's phone only goes on the internet a little bit.
Did you have a cell phone before?
I did before, like I was getting in trouble. I had a cell phone.
When you went to school on Monday, what were you wearing?
Black shirt, jeans, and black shoes.
Another thing I'm thinking, if this is okay with you, Nate, and with your mom, is that I'd just like to take some pictures of your shoes and the bottom of your shoes. Would that be okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
Though
They're going to look
Nathan
at the soul
responds in the
deposits.
affirmative, he certainly doesn't seem very enthused about the idea. It's likely that while ransacking the home, Antonio and Nathan left shoe prints, possibly bloody ones, at the crime scene. The photographs they'll take of Nathan's shoes will be compared to the prints found at the crime scene and used as corroborating evidence that he was indeed present at Barbara's house around the time the murder was committed.
When you got put in here, what kind of clothes were you wearing?
I wear clothes with a lot of designs, like a really designed t-shirt with like blue like coloring that was like shiny. And
Shabby wears some shirts with a lot of designs.
Not like mine. Mine are way more designy.
Yeah, designy.
I have Rick and Morty on mine.
Ooh. That's how you know Chab's got a high IQ.
Coat thing that I button down the two bottoms, and then I'm quite sure light jeans.
Blue or what?
Yeah, like bluer jeans, and then my shoes.
Do you have socks or not?
I'm wearing my socks.
The same ones you got?
Yeah.
Yeah, Dylan says that you need to
If we
do
would look
GTA
at
Chab.
those-
Says that you're, doing things incorrectly. You're doing life wrong.
Yeah. Dylan, help me out with the goal, and I'll schedule a GTA stream. Do
Gotta
it,
pay you what you
Dylan.
want. We're running a business, Dylan.
Dylan, I really need tips, so help me out with the goal, and I'll schedule it right now. Schedule GTA.
Shab's a poor fuck.
I'm a poor fuck. The link's it's pinned at the top of the chat.
Shoes?
Shab's a poor fuck.
Would there be any reason at all
Begs
that
all
you
the
would find any
time.
blood on them?
No.
I'm a poor fuck and I beg all the time. I'm poor as fuck and I beg all the time. Yeah. Do it, Dylan. I believe in you.
And if we would find blood on them, what would that be from? Can you think of anything? Were you ever near anything in the past couple weeks that there was any blood there?
Not really. Not that I can think of.
This is referred to as a selective memory.
Oh shit!
No.
Big
What's
Dick
that?
Rick coming through with a 35 like a boss. See, he knows how to help with the goal. You could learn a thing or two from him, Gene. You piece of shit.
You gotta
Okay.
shame them into submission.
I'm shaming you.
Oh. Didn't you just say Gene knows something about the goal?
I said, Gene, you need to be more like him.
Oh, wow.
Oh, see, you don't even know what English is, Gene. Thank
Well,
you,
I thought you were
Dylan.
saying, like, Gene, you gotta be more like him, like in general, to everyone.
Oh, no, I was talking to you and said you have to be more like
Okay.
Dylan. God, Gene. See how he interprets things?
No, you were talking in the second person, not the third person. Sorry.
I was talking in the 12th person. Right, Cameron? You see, he thumbed up my butt. You know it's true. When Cameron thumbs up the butt.
John, there's 7 people here. How is he talking in the third person if there's 7 people? Huh?
I guess.
There we go.
That ain't math. It's English.
Whoa.
It's literature.
7 people aren't math. 7 isn't math.
All right, I'm scheduling a GTA stream real quick.
Did you know that in math, double negatives are positive, but in like English and grammar, double negatives are negative?
You don't know that. You don't know that, Gene.
So if someone is HIV positive and has sex with someone else that has
that's health. That's like medical
no,
biology
that's math.
stuff.
No, that's math.
Well, everything's
Positive
math.
and negatives and stuff like that.
You guys are turning me on with all this stupid shit you guys are saying. This is great. All right, hold on. Let me put the link in the chat, and then we'll continue this video. Listen to the angel himself sleeping. Aww, can hear him
Not getting
snoring.
good sleep because of his snoring. He needs a CPAP machine.
Yeah, we should shove a tube down his throat or something to help him out.
Yeah.
Here's the link in the chat to the GTA stream. Starts in 66 minutes. Thanks to cool guy Dylan. Okay, let's continue.
Statement. Statements like these are hard to refute and easy for suspects to go back and change without it being obvious that they're outright lying. Though vague, this is still a strange statement since anyone, especially someone with only one pair of shoes, would surely remember stepping in blood.
Are you the only person that wears those shoes?
Yeah.
So you never borrow them?
He only has like one pair of shoes.
No, I let all my friends borrow the shoes. It was probably Mango. She borrowed my shoes that day. She always had it in from my grandma.
If you don't have at least like 7 or 8 pairs of shoes, I don't know. I'm gonna make fun of you.
Oh wait, no. It was Cameron that borrowed my shoes that day. Yeah, and he hated my grandma. He always called her a dumb bitch.
Now, Shad, did you know kids like that where they have like 8 or 9 pairs of shoes and then they like talk shit about your pairs of shoes? It's like, I don't fucking care.
I have at least 4 different footwear pairs, but it's like boots. I got my work shoes, snow boots or muck boots or whatever. But I live in the fucking Midwest, so I mean,
yeah, it's just the necessities.
Yeah, it depends on the season.
Yeah, I have my regular, casual, everyday shoes. I have my work shoes that I have to fucking wear when I go to work, and then I have my running shoes, my exercise shoes.
What a cool guy.
How many shoes do you have, Shab?
I have some like house shoes. I got 2 tennis shoes kind of thing. One that's like not as good pair, and then one for like going out. And then I guess that's it. Like there's a couple other pairs, I guess. I don't know. Like old shitty ones or something. But yeah, not too crazy. Dylan's a rich guy. He has 23 pairs of shoes.
It seems a bit excessive.
No, don't tell Dylan what to do.
No, I don't borrow shoes because then I don't have shoes to wear. Because I only have one pair.
Would it be okay with you if we took those shoes and checked them for blood?
Sure, but I do have my hearing today, so I need them for that. Otherwise, I can't walk.
Have you cleaned them lately at all?
Not really.
You didn't throw them in a dishwasher. You didn't put a bunch of bleach on them, something like that.
No, I don't really clean my shoes.
Okay. All right, we'll get back to that. I'm not sure, but I appreciate you letting us do it, and that might help us to clear some stuff out.
Bleach your shoes if you want to.
When's the last time you went out to eat anywhere?
to eat.
Actually,
pizza
also,
place.
It's not just at Nathan's or at home or something, or at school. I mean,
No,
like
but
out to a
Chad, you know,
restaurant.
in like
Like that.
forensics, they have luminol. So like people wear, like you spray it all over the crime scene, and then if you shine like this UV light on it, it will show where people have applied like various different cleaning chemicals. So a lot of times when people do things they're not supposed to, it's like you light up the luminol, and it's like, yeah, there's all this fluid all over the walls and the couch and stuff. Like, why is that?
Why is
But
that?
hey, if they're not able to find any like DNA and stuff, it's like, hey, they can't charge you just because your house is covered with bleach.
You're lying. Yeah, Cameron did a good job cleaning it up. Nobody found the evidence.
I don't remember the last time I went to a restaurant. It had to have been months ago.
When's the last time you were at Theo's Pizza?
Theo's Pizza.
Suspects may repeat the question in order to give themselves an extra moment or two to think about how they want to respond to a particular question. If they didn't have an answer ready and they didn't repeat the question, they would be left with an awkward silence. This uncomfortable lag in conversation could increase the suspect's anxiety, and they may worry that the detective will see their pause as suspicious.
Oh, I've been there just like 2 days ago. Maybe 3.
Confronted with the exact name of the restaurant, Antonio changes his answer as if it had slipped his mind. It's hard to believe that someone would have completely forgotten something that only happened 2 or 3 days ago.
So within that 2 to 3 months then?
Well, no, I mean like 2 or 3 days.
Right, so that's within 2 or 3 months that you just said, right? So it's
Oh, well, I guess.
2 or 3 days ago, which if today's Thursday, you're saying either Tuesday or Monday?
I'm gonna guess Tuesday.
Tuesday?
I think Tuesday.
When someone is feeling very stressed, their mouth and throat may become dry. This can lead to behaviors such as drinking more water, increased clearing of the throat, or increased licking of the lips.
Do you know about what time?
Oh, I'm gonna say like about 1.
1 in the afternoon?
Yeah, it's just a guess though.
Were you there alone or?
It was me and Nate. We went to get pizza.
So how did you guys get to Theo's Pizza?
It's not that far of a walk.
So you just walked?
Yeah, it's not that far.
About how far?
Probably about a 30-minute walk.
And who paid for that?
Butcher Nate. We had $20.
And where did you get that, do you know?
I remember we found that on the floor at his house.
That day or when?
I think so.
Well, it doesn't sound like you have a whole lot of money, so if you found a $20 bill, it should stick out, right?
Yeah.
So you're pretty sure that it was Tuesday that you found it on the floor, Nate?
It was either Tuesday morning when I woke up, or it'd be Monday, like, late at night. Because I remember then we were hungry, so we decided to go get some pizza because it's not that much money. It's only for like $5.25 for a pizza.
Okay, I think basically, I'm gonna give you one more chance to tell the truth, okay? I've already told
One
you.
more chance, Gene, to tell the fucking truth. What did you do, Gene? Where's the body?
I am telling the truth.
Yeah, right. Piece of shit.
That we've talked with a lot of people, okay?
Alright.
And we've had the state crime lab in, we have a lot of evidence. You know, it's a video world nowadays. We have video evidence. We have a lot of stuff, okay? And I'll tell you right now, you're not telling me the truth.
This is another facet of the Reed interrogation technique called a positive confrontation. Without being too aggressive, the detective is letting Antonio know definitively that they have evidence that proves that his story is untrue. The detective puts a little extra pressure on him by advising him that this is his very last chance to tell the truth.
Is there anything at all that you've talked to me about that you want to change your story and tell me the truth? Or do you want to stay with what I consider a lot of lies? And you need to really think about this, okay? And you need to think about your future, and you need to think about
Damn,
the
he's
potential
really
of being in
thinking
front of a
right now.
judge and saying, he straight out lied about absolutely everything. he never took any credit for anything and said that he had nothing to do with anything at all as far as great Grandma Olson. So think about it for a second. Let me just make sure.
Is he playing him?
Here, the detective is giving Antonio an incentive to come clean, without specifically promising him any leniency by the prosecutor or judge in exchange for his honesty. Antonio sits in silence for several seconds, presumably thinking of things that an innocent person wouldn't have to think about.
I'll say this to you, Nate, and I'll say it for your mom to hear it too. You've obviously gotten in trouble with Tino before, and I don't know if Tino's done anything or not here, but it's really important that you take care of you. Do you understand what I'm saying? Yeah. And not get sucked into any trouble with him. You know what I mean? Yeah. Okay.
You understand the seriousness of this, right? And you understand that you're taking a big roll of the dice here, right? And apparently you want to try that.
Wait, with what?
With telling the truth or lying. You're telling me that you are straight up telling me the 100% truth about everything that you've told me, correct?
No.
Okay, I want you to clarify then what you haven't been totally truthful about. I will sit here and listen to the truth, but I'm not going to sit here and listen to a bunch of more lies, okay?
And it sounds like you've had a pretty tight time of being home here over the last few days. Yeah. But it's really important that if you know, even if you know, like you weren't there, because it sounds like you've been here at home or here at school, except for on yesterday, that if he told you about something that he did, and it doesn't get you into trouble by telling us if he told you things that he did. But I don't want it to be any trouble for you if he did tell you that he did something against the law, since he's been a runaway since last Friday. And I know you don't want to get your friend into trouble, but it's pretty important that you not try to cover for him. You know what I mean? You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. Okay.
So I want you to tell me the
You know
truth
what I
of
am saying?
happened. That's all we're looking for. Is the truth.
Sound like Nathan's starting to get emotional. He's
Sounds
the
like what?
Nathan sounded like he's starting to get emotional. Sounds like he's gonna be the first one to maybe break.
Man, what a pussy.
We don't want to pin
If you're
something
gonna do
on
some
somebody
killing,
that doesn't
learn to
deserve
just
to have anything.
mask your emotions.
Yeah, he was such a badass when he was smashing the old lady's face in, but once there's a grown woman in front of him, tell him what he did. What you did was a bad boy thing. It's oh my god.
Depend on him or her or whatever. I want the truth, and that's what we're going
Bad
for here,
boy.
okay? So what do you want to clarify? Tell me the truth about.
What else do you want to share with us?
Can I write it down?
Can you write it down?
Yeah.
Yeah, you can write it down.
Nathan is basically speaking in a whisper at this point. He's likely experiencing symptoms of extreme stress, one of them being the drying of his mucous membranes. This dryness in the vocal cords can cause someone's pitch to sound different. His raspy voice, combined with the fact that he doesn't even want to make the statement out loud, indicates that whatever he has to say isn't any good.
Okay, Ken, here, I'll give you a piece of paper.
The room is dead
I told you
silent,
he was the first one. It's gonna break. I told you I'm genius,
for the
Gene.
sound of Nathan's sobs
Yeah,
and the
whatever.
pen scratching against the paper. Nathan proceeds to scribble 9 words, then hands the note to the detective.
I can understand with what you wrote down. You're very scared.
Yeah.
Okay.
Nathan seems to be having an extreme emotional response to whatever is on that note, as it sounds like he's still crying. He's surely showing more emotion in this moment than Antonio showed throughout the duration of his interview so far.
Because you wrote that down, Nate, I want to be able to read Miranda rights to you. Do you understand what I'm saying?
The need to read Nathan his Miranda rights at this point indicates that whatever he confessed officially places him in police custody.
Realizing that you have these rights, are you now willing to answer questions or make a statement? I know you wrote that down, and maybe you wrote it down because you didn't want her to hear that. Is that why you wrote that down? Okay.
It's common for juveniles to withhold information when being questioned in front of a parent for fear of disappointing them. A parent's presence is more likely to stir up feelings of shame and remorse that can cause the minor to be dishonest. This seems to be especially true for Nathan, as he seems to start sobbing uncontrollably when the detective goes to tell his mother what he wrote down.
So, Bobby, you heard us read the Miranda rights to your son, right? Okay. And you heard us talking with him, sitting where you at, about basically what he's been up to and his association with Tino and what he's been up to since last Friday when Tino ran away from school, right? Okay, and you could hear us talking about that and everything that he's done.
Not only is he fucking stupid for not calling a lawyer, his parents are there as well, and they didn't call for a lawyer.
I guess.
I mean, he
but at this point,
doesn't understand it, and
his mom's there, and if I would have, I don't know. At this point, do you really want the lawyer? I don't know. If I was this kid's parent, I don't think I'd worry too much about that. Let him get what he deserves for what he did. I don't know. I'm not gonna be.
I don't know. Like,
I don't know.
Parents are probably responsible for like a large percentage of why he engages in these kind of crimes.
Maybe,
but I mean,
I was a bad kid at some point too. I think that's normal for there to be that kind of stage in your life, but we don't normally take it to killing our grandma levels. You know, we might steal from our grandma's purse or something like that, right? Which is horrible, but very nothing compared to killing grandma. I don't know. I don't think at this point I'd worry too much about trying to defend my kid that I figured out just killed an old lady for a couple $100 or whatever the fuck the reason is. It's gonna be something stupid, of course. It's not gonna be any good justification for it.
I know, Nate, you just wrote that down on the piece of paper because you didn't want your mom to hear, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know you're really scared right now. You said you were with Tino?
Yeah.
And when was that?
Hey, Tim! Monday. Hey, Tim!
So, Nate, explain to you that we work with other police agencies on investigations. And so...
Now, how can he be a Latino?
So we're working on an investigation involving Tino's...
No, his name is Tino, which is a nickname.
It's his great-grand.
Okay.
And you said you were with Tino on Monday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I'm paying attention.
Tino did not go to school on Monday?
No.
Okay. And
he was here.
Antonio, there we go.
He was at your house?
Yeah.
When you left for school on Monday?
Yeah.
Nathan is now answering questions clearly and without delay, indicating that this is likely the true version of events.
On Monday, when you got home from school, what happened, Nate?
We were talking, and then he said, I know how to get money.
Me and Nate did go to my grandma's.
When?
Monday.
And he said he killed his grandma, but I thought he was just joking around with me.
Okay.
And then I asked my mom to take us to Sheboygan Falls. And I told her that we were going to meet up with one of our friends.
Then we attacked her.
A very interesting choice of words. When describing their crime, suspects will often use language that makes the offense sound less egregious, such as Antonio's use of the word attacked rather than killed.
You and Nate attacked her?
It was both of us.
With what?
Like hammer thing. And then like a hammer thing with an axe at the other end.
And what time was it on Monday?
I don't know, like probably like 4, 5.
And why was this done?
At first I wasn't wanting to. Like we were in our garage through one of the doors just like waiting.
And the garage door was open.
Okay, the garage door was open at his grandma's house?
Yeah. And then we went in there, and then he had a plastic bag he put over his head, but he couldn't see out of it, so he just took it off. And then right as I was to open the door, his grandma like walked out and said, "Who is that?" And then she's like, "Is that Tino?" And she was like, "No." And I'm standing behind the door, and then she like because I like stepped on something, and then she said, come out, I came out, and then she's like, what do you, she asked us if we were cold, and that's why we were in the garage. And Tina said, yeah.
It's heartbreaking to think that Barbara's very last act was one of care and concern for the two boys who, not even 10 minutes later,
I think what really
would
happened
mercilessly end her life.
Is she made fun of them for having their like dork Bieber haircuts.
It's like on South Park how Butters' grandma bullies him. Really, she was like that. It's like ha ha, bullying them.
Turns out she was a giant cunt.
Oh God.
Why is that word so egregious? Come on.
Because you're talking about poor Grandma Barbara or whatever her name is. Is it Barbara?
Yeah, it's Barbara.
Barbarossa.
Barbarossa, yeah. Barbarossa.
Yeah, this whole thing is sad, but at the same time, how many years do you think she had left? Naturally,
she deserved to at least have those last years. She is healthy enough. She was healthy enough to walk out there and say, "Oh, you guys are cold. You need to come into the heat." Like she probably didn't want to die yet. At least she could do is get those last years in, eating cookies and drinking tea and watching TV or doing whatever.
When you're old, you aren't supposed to be eating cookies.
Okay, she was sewing stuff and knitting. She was baking cookies. She was doing all sorts of cool grandma stuff. She was enjoying life, watching Oprah and stuff.
Fox News.
Well,
yeah,
probably. But then again, looking at these two pictures of these kids, if I was that grandma, I would off myself.
Oh God!
Oh, Crow, bad.
In my
bad Crow. That's it. You're a bad boy, Crow.
Oh, come on, look at these two.
Now you have to help more with the dank goal. You have to help more with the goal, or you're grounded.
Life.
You're grounded.
Because she said she was gonna call my mom, and I was already missing and wanted with a warrant, and I didn't want that done. So then, yeah.
Antonio's answer evades the detective's question of exactly why he attacked Barbara. His answer explains why he would have chosen that very moment to attack, but it doesn't explain what he and his friend are doing at his great-grandmother's house unannounced and armed with weapons. His true motive will later prove to be one of the most chilling aspects of Barbara's murder.
So that's your thought process? Is that you don't want Grandma to call him?
It's gonna be watch. It's like I said. It's gonna be some lame ass little bit of money.
Can't hear you, Shab.
Like I said, watch. It's gonna be some lame ass little bit of money or something. They'd be like, oh yeah, she has a bit of wine we can take, and her purse has $50 in it. And then they smash her brains in over a half a bottle of wine and $20 or 40 or something. It's gonna be something lame.
Well, I'm thinking maybe it might be like shelter care. He doesn't want to go back there because he's like a runaway and everything.
Maybe I think he went to Grandma to score some dough.
Grandma
some cookie
ran
dough.
out of Werther's
Some cookie
original.
dough. Watch, it's. They said it's chilling. What do you think it's gonna be, Gene?
I don't know. Maybe he wouldn't want to go back to shelter care because he's a runaway and the grandmother knows he's supposed to be there or something. Might be that.
Well, no, that's what he just said. But that doesn't explain again, like the guy said, why they'd be there with weapons. Like why they'd even show up
they're
and why
trying
they're
to like burglarize her home.
I doubt they were just there to kill her. They wanted something to gain from it, and it's probably some little petty bullshit.
Just a stash of jewelry, and they wanted that.
Yeah, maybe.
Income or whatever.
Yeah.
Okay, so what did you have that you attacked your great grandma with?
It was like an axe-looking thing.
How big was it about?
Like that.
So what are we saying, 12, 15 inches, something like that?
Probably.
You know what a hatchet is or not?
I don't know what a hatchet is, but it was like an axe, but then it had like a flat side on it, like a flat metal side. And I think Nate just had a normal hammer.
Okay, did you see him with that hammer?
Yeah, I saw him with the hammer.
All right. Where did you get this small axe or whatever that you were talking about?
From my garage.
From your garage? And where did Nathan get that hammer?
I think that was just in his house.
Since the boys brought weapons from other locations to Barbara's house and didn't tell Nathan's mom the truth about where they were going, it's safe to say that their deadly assault was premeditated. What's even more disturbing is how monotone and impassive his description of events is. He's still maintaining his same cool demeanor and lack of emotion.
Individuals with their monotone voices.
Yeah, like the other kids breaking down as you like naturally should. Like even thinking back of what you did if you did such a disgusting thing. He just like, yeah, smashed her face in with like a hammer thingy. It's like whatever. Like I would have used my skateboard to smash your face in, but like my skateboard broke like a week ago. So
you gotta improvise.
So yeah, I just used a hammer thingy and like smashed her eyeball in or whatever. It was whatever.
Yeah. 2 boys, 1 axe, a hammer, and a grandma.
It's like, how can you be so emotionless about doing such a crazy fucking act? Like, I think at least afterwards, just thinking about it would affect you. But he's just like, whatever.
What if Dexter was all emotional and stuff?
Hey, he was cool.
Complete his objectives.
He was cool.
Yeah. However, Antonio isn't fidgeting nearly as much as he was before. This lets detectives know that it's more likely that he's telling the truth now.
Did you guys talk about this as far as what you were going to do? Obviously, if you got a hatchet and he got a hammer and you got a ride from his mom, there was some thought about it, right? What was the discussion?
We were deciding if and how we were going to do it, and then like how we would get a ride there, how we get a ride back, all that.
So after your mom dropped you and Tino off by the roundabout at 42 and 28, what happened then, Nate?
We walked to her house,
His grandma?
In order to get from where they were dropped off to Great-Grandma Barb's house, the boys would have to have walked about 2 miles. It takes the average person approximately 15 to 20 minutes to walk a single mile. This means that the boys had at least a half hour to rethink their decisions before they got to Barbara's door.
And then when we got a ride there and we were in the garage, I didn't really want to do it as much. Like, I didn't want to do it.
Mm-hmm.
But then when we were in the house, like Nate was like nodding at me and all that. So then I took the first swing.
Antonio's claim that he initially wanted to bail on their plan to attack and rob his great-grandmother means nothing. The two will still be charged with acting in concert to carry out their crime. The fact that he took the first swing makes this supposed change of heart seem even less believable.
Where did you hit her? With that first swing?
I think the head.
And you talked about a flat back and then like the sharp part?
Yeah.
Which way did you hit her the first time? Do you know?
Flat part.
Was there a reason at all, or that's just the way it ended up in your hand, or what?
I'm quite sure just because it was a flat part and I thought more blunt would work.
Work as far as what?
For hitting, just like in general.
Well, hitting in general as far as to put her down quicker, or what do you mean?
Yeah, that's what I meant.
Okay. And why did you go there and come up with the plan to do this?
I think it was mainly just for money.
A statement filled with such coldness and detachment, as if he were talking about a stranger. To be willing to end his great-grandmother's life in pursuit of money shows a callousness and lack of consciousness that one wouldn't even expect from a young teenager. Even worse is the fact that he's able to confess to something so horrid without a hint of emotion or remorse. After shrugging, Antonio then qualifies his answer with, "I think," which is a red flag for possible deception, as the reason he killed his grandma is likely something he does know for sure. Notice how he says it was mainly just for money, which indicates that there was something else he was motivated by as well. It's not surprising that he gave this answer, though, as blaming it on the money is an easier and more socially acceptable answer than saying he just wanted to kill someone.
All right, so you go there to try to get some money.
Makes sense.
And you bring the hatchet. He brings the.
What?
Wait. Now they did.
Go ahead.
Well, they did say that like she was missing body parts or whatever. So it's like, do you think they took those as like trophies?
No, I don't remember them
Pizza
saying that.
topping, remember?
Yeah,
Pizza topping.
There's only part like her face, but yeah, I don't know. We'll get to that, I guess. But what were you saying, Mr. Birdie Bird?
He's 13. Monetary motivation for this killing. He's fucking 13.
It's like I said before, just like I was a bit of a bad kid around his age, and I was stealing money and stuff, but I was stealing money so I could buy weed from drug dealers and buy alcohol and get fucked up.
Piece of shit.
Like, and that's probably the same thing here. He was probably wanting to get high and drunk all the time and stuff. I like that's normal for especially troublemakers like him. It was normal for me around his age, for one, and then two, it's especially normal for someone who's like a big troublemaker like him. I wasn't a troublemaker like that. I would have been smoking weed and getting drunk all the time if I was him. You know, if I was.
Yeah, when
he killed his grandma. Like that's like.
Yeah.
Like,
I thought you were saying for like 13-year-old kids in general, but yeah, like when I was younger, like
it was
in middle
for me
school,
when I was like 13, 14, 15. I was drinking and smoking weed.
Well, 13 would be like middle school age, so it's like when I was in middle school, like I didn't really
8th grade.
Yeah, I didn't really see kids doing that at all. That wasn't common.
Yeah, because they were hanging out like in another area smoking weed together. You weren't there.
Well, probably like in the area I grew up. It wasn't until high school where kids started to like do that kind of stuff.
Now let's see Gene kind of go, quick, put the weed away. That Gene guy's like,
yeah, that dork is coming by. He's gonna rat on us. This piece of shit. He's a rat.
No, you would know if a kid like got in trouble with the law and stuff. I mean, like word got out there. Like you know their siblings, you know people that know them or their family. So it wasn't really until kids got into high school where you'd start hearing about kids getting in trouble and getting arrested. So when I was in middle school, I guess because I lived in a more affluent area, you didn't really come across that.
I went to a school of probably about 100. I think I've said this before, but I think it was my junior year. Spray painting dicks on stop signs.
Oh my god!
$129.
Such a delinquent.
I know. $29. Didn't even get a fucking keep the stop signs.
What a piece of crap!
Shit. I know the cops were fucking pieces of shit.
Couldn't even let him keep it.
They
got to keep their grandma's half skull as a trophy, and freaking drunken can't even keep the sign as a trophy. That's fucked up.
In the house, or...
I actually did keep a
in the
house one from a construction site.
You're lying. All right, let's try to push through this. There's only so much time until the GTA stream. Let's do it.
You said she had let you in, did you say?
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Did she know it was you?
Yeah.
So she saw you and opened the door, or what?
Yeah, she opened the door, like the garage door, there's no window, and then she saw me. But she didn't see that I had it like hidden behind my back, so then she told me to go inside. And then like I was just like putting it under my sweatshirt. And then she said she was gonna call my mom, and then like Nate looked at me and he nodded.
Here he's insinuating that his friend Nathan was the ringleader and driving force behind this attack. This could be entirely true, or he could be attempting to pass some of the blame off to his friend so that he doesn't look like such a bad guy for having attacked Barbara first.
So you hit her once with the flat end, right?
Yeah.
Did she go right down, or did she fight, or what happened?
She, I think, yelled like once, and then I hit her one more time. And I think then I ran to the bathroom because I didn't feel good. And then I'm quite sure Nate hit her once or twice with his like hammer thing. And that's about all.
This part of Antonio's story might be believable were it not for the fact that an autopsy of Barbara Olson's body concluded that she was hit approximately 27 times in total. Her wounds indicated both blunt and sharp force trauma, a truly brutal and merciless attack.
So how long were you back in the bathroom here?
Probably about 30 seconds.
And then what happened?
Then I'm quite sure I went to the front, like over here, and then
she wasn't like alive and we didn't know what to do and we were freaking out and we were probably there for like 2 hours not knowing what to do.
Did you ever hit her with the sharp end of the blade?
I think Nate took it from me and did once. Like only one time though. With the sharp end. And then Tino started hitting her over and over again. And then he stopped. And he looked at me. And then he said, Nate, help. And I was standing there.
This part of the story presents an interesting contradiction to Antonio's story. Antonio alleged that Nathan initiated the attack by signaling to him to attack Barbara. Then, according to Antonio, after hitting her twice, he ran to the bathroom because he felt sick, and Nathan continued to hit her. Here, Nathan claims that Antonio hit Barbara spontaneously and did most of the attacking. He even has the same sudden change of heart that Antonio had in his story, but claims to have hit her anyway because he feared for his safety. Both of them are telling versions of the story that make the other appear as the ringleader and themselves as the helpless follower. However, this ultimately won't matter since they're both confessing to have taken part in Barbara's murder.
And he told me to help. I walked over there. And then he started to hit her again. I was watching. He told me to hit her. I didn't want to, but I didn't want to, but I didn't want him hitting me, so I hit her twice, and then I walked away. And then he kept hitting her. And she was dead. Tino covered her head with something, and then he went around grabbing stuff, putting it in a bag, and then I had to go in the pockets and grab the keys for the car, and then he wanted to dump the body in a lake or something, but we were selling up to pick her up and put her in the trunk.
And then you sit there for like 2 hours trying to figure out what to do, right?
Yeah.
And what are you throwing back and forth, like what you're gonna do here?
I think we're gonna try to see if there's any way we could like get her into the trunk, but that didn't work. So then we started like pulling back towards.
Imagine if you were really doing this kind of shit at their age, like John. Like, you did some bad stuff when you were growing up, right, Gene? Or were you just a little ass bitch?
I guess I don't know, I engaged in some, I guess, cyber crimes.
Oh,
I
God.
killed everyone.
Wow.
Okay, never mind. Don't tell us what you done, Gene. Shut up. Okay. Drunken Crow, you were
people's houses and shit.
I never said I broke into people's houses.
Oh, or their cars.
No, Shad took their entire house, stole the deed, and sold their houses. That's how he got so stinking rich, hey, Shad?
Drunken Crow, you were a bad boy, right?
Spray paint, stealing shit, yeah.
See, Drunken Crow understands. He gets it.
Well, I would, yeah, like program keyloggers and stuff, and work like with Linux to do like Trojans and so forth.
Okay, I was asking Drunken Crow and not you.
Well,
sir.
Here's the thing: if a kid fucked with me, I made sure to hack their Facebook and their social media, and yeah. So
Mango, do you think you can talk more?
Yeah, Mango.
Mango, talk more. Gene, talk a little less. Mango, save us.
Why are you so like adverse to me to discussing this?
Shut up, John.
It's like, yeah, talking about vandalism and breaking people's cars, but talking about hacking, no, that's going too far.
Sounds like you're kind of instructing.
I'm not instructing
someone on how to do.
That would be like you saying, I hacked or I broke into somebody's car, so that's obstructing people. It's like, how's that obstructing people?
No, instructing, not abstract.
I mean, yeah, instructing.
I think
1 a.m.
Just break into someone's vehicle or apartment and just like steal something
on Minecraft.
Well,
Jane, on Minecraft. It doesn't have to be anything important.
Jane,
like a pizza cutter or something like that.
Have you thought about constructing people instead of destructing them?
Yeah,
exactly.
What about building people up, Gene?
Yeah,
Have you ever
Gene.
considered doing that?
Yeah, Gene.
Maybe. But the thing is, you're talking about like physical crimes, Crow, and there you leave like empirical evidence. Like with cyber crimes, you can mask your IP, go to a like McDonald's or Starbucks, use some really cheap computer that used exclusively for that. You use like an encrypted browser.
All right, we need to. All right, shut up.
What?
Let's continue the video.
Hold on, John.
But then
With physical crimes, I do pee. That's how it
I
got
pee
me.
too.
and get her up like one of the steps to get in the house.
Okay, so you took her from the living room and got her where then? You took her out?
Into the garage by the car.
And was that both you and Nathan?
Yeah, and then we couldn't get her in the trunk, so we just like started pulling. We were gonna go to the basement, but then we couldn't get up the first stair. So then, of course, we didn't know what to do. So we decided just to like leave it there and then go.
So it was like one of you on the hands and one on the legs, or what?
We were trying to we sat out right there and then we tried lifting up, but like we couldn't even move it a few inches off the ground. So we just like stopped trying.
And then did you go back inside, or where are we in this 2 hour span?
I'm quite sure we didn't go back inside. I'm quite sure we ran to the back room, grabbed like a few of the boxes, all that crap in there, and just threw it in the bag. Then I think we grabbed like 3 sodas that were in part of the basement right here, and then I think we just left. And then Nate was driving. It was
I'm driving which car then?
that car.
So that's your great grandma's car, right?
Yeah.
It's haunting to know that 2 13-year-old boys are capable of such a cold-blooded crime. Not only did they murder a relative, but they immediately proceeded to heartlessly rummage through her belongings for things they could take. As if they hadn't already taken enough.
I don't know what car, like.
Gene's a bad boy.
Okay.
I mean, they're
You know,
not like murderers,
you know
so
that
why
it's your
not like
Yeah.
loot her place?
Gene's an
Which
evil boy.
back room did you say you went into to grab some boxes?
What was that?
So her
No,
bed.
we won't sex shop.
And what do you mean? What?
006 is like, oh, like McDonald's has got cameras. It's like that's why you do it like when you're in the car outside of McDonald's.
What, bus eggs?
No, the using their IP to do.
Shut up! Stop saying stuff like that, Gene.
What?
I don't even know what IP stands for, so you're confusing me.
No, actually, every fast food restaurant, if you go through the drive-through, you are recorded. They can hear you.
No,
You
you're
don't go in the
recorded.
drive-through. You do it in the parking lot.
Yeah, you do bus sex in the parking
Or you
lot.
go
That's
to
where
a
I do
different
my
parking
bus
lot.
sex.
Yeah, you go to a parking
Cameron,
lot. Like,
where do you do your bus sex?
Oh, I forgot Cameron is here.
Yeah,
Cameron,
Cameron.
you're the expert.
Yeah, where do you do your booty butt sex, Cam? That was a
no,
good
but
answer,
plus
Cameron. What?
006. That's why you use.
He says
like,
my house. Can I come over and do that too at your house? Sounds like a good spot for booty butt sex. Hold on, Gene. We need to finish this video.
Okay.
Got 25 minutes until the other streams.
I'm quite sure it had like jewelry, but it all looked like, as you said, fake and all that. And I remember she had like clip-on earrings and all that.
Antonio's
No, wait, Shab,
explanation
I
of the
gotta
crime
respond to
throws up
Skeppy
several
J. That's why you use a proxy server and an encrypted browser. And you use like a cheap laptop where like you can dispose of it afterwards. And even if they see you, they trace it to the IP, they have to be able to connect it.
See,
like,
you wonder
well, like,
why I
once
have a
again,
problem
even
with
if-
you talking about this kind of stuff.
Okay, go ahead.
Dude, Scooby, he wonders why I have a problem with him going on about stuff like this. He gives specific directions on how to do horrible
You
shit.
can find tutorials online.
You can find
You can go to school.
Dude, this kid probably looked up how to kill your grandma on Google before
Well,
he
I mean,
did
it's
it.
on
Like, you can look
YouTube,
up
it's
all
legal.
sorts of stuff.
Like, if you go to school and take like data communication classes, they teach you all this. If you take like computer science classes, they teach you this.
Yeah, Gene.
Go, like, if you go on YouTube and look up like data communication like tutorial, you'll probably see professors, like they have their own lectures up there where they go over all of this.
They don't go over it to teach you to do nefarious things with that information.
They teach you to catch the people that do the nefarious things.
Yeah, and you're specifically instructing people on how to do a nefarious action with these things.
They know how to, like, what you need to look for when it comes to vulnerabilities in your network.
Isn't Gene a bad person, Red Eye?
He is quite possibly the worst human being ever born.
Gene.
He's like a genetic mix of all of the bad guys from the 20th century. All of them just went into a jar and then they threw it into a fucking vat and it Gene congealed. It's like, it's like, oh my god, it's alive.
I'm Gene. If you're like doing it like just to hack your friend's like Steam account or Facebook account, like they don't fucking the FBI, they don't fucking care.
Yeah,
they don't care enough to investigate.
Here's where you're horribly wrong about that in certain places. In South Korea, so much value is placed on online stuff because you pour a lot of money into it. Because it was a problem, exactly what you were doing, they enacted laws, and people go to fucking jail for a long time if you fuck with people's... If you touch someone's online shit, you're in deep trouble in South Korea, and I have a feeling that the older we get, people like me who get in positions of power, and I'm not saying me personally, but folks of my age who will end up in some positions of power will be able to legislate laws that will make it a lot worse for people to do this. And it's happening in Australia right now. They're talking about enacting a law where if you get some hacker encrypts all your stuff, it will be illegal to pay a ransom to them because it's not right now. So that's one way they're going to try and get rid of the ransomware hackers, is by just making it a massive offence to pay them out. So instead of taking your chances, you got to start investing in cybersecurity. But I've put a lot of money into my Steam account, and if someone fucked with that, I'd track them down and the police would be involved because it's over the threshold of where you can get the police involved.
Yeah,
it's only a couple of thousand. Yeah, that's what you're looking at.
When I was in high school, it's like they didn't really take like cybercrime seriously at all. So it's like everyone had LimeWire, everyone had would pirate like tons and tons of stuff, and like they didn't really do anything about it. And it's like every kid just would pirate like hundreds of dollars worth of stuff. And
not me.
Yeah, crimes on the internet for a while throughout the 2000s. They didn't really take them seriously at all.
Shut up, you criminal. What's up, Top G World? Hit the like button, guys, and let's see. Let's hurry up and get this video
Red flags.
done.
It's heavily littered with selective statements such as "I think" and "I'm quite sure." If he'd only used these phrases once or twice, it might not have been suspicious. However, he uses these a half dozen times. Throughout his recount, he also alternates between referring to the body as it and her. Perhaps this is his attempt to distance himself emotionally from the victim.
And he wanted me to drive, and then I got in the driver's seat, he got in the passenger's, and we opened the garage door, drove out, and closed it, and came back here.
And where did you drive her car to, Nate?
By a church.
By a church?
Yeah. And then we walked to my house.
Then you came back here?
Yeah. And then he went to the purse and grabbed the money, and then he threw it in the store. And then we just went to bed that night. And then yesterday,
yeah.
Then we took the car and parked it at some bowling place, and then we went because he was hungry, so he wanted to buy Theo's pizza, and we ate there. And he said just to leave the car there, so we bought gloves and wipes to wipe the car down to get our fingerprints off, and we just left the car, and we walked to my house.
Nathan is leaving out a particularly interesting purchase that the boys made with the stolen money. He's likely omitting this information out of fear that divulging it will make him look even worse in the eyes of the law detectives. Soon, we'll find out exactly where the majority of the proceeds from their heist went.
So then you go out, you said he drove.
What do you think the majority of the monies went to?
Pizza.
Yeah.
It went to the Death Pizza.
There's a handful of cases like, oh yeah, we murdered this person, and then, like, you find out that the next thing they do is get food.
Can I change my answer?
Okay.
Go for it.
Alright, I'll change my answer from Death Pizza to Death Pizza and meth.
You don't know that.
I do. I was there. I was the
You're not a
star witness
scientist.
of the freaking trial, man. I witnessed it all.
Well, I mean, one of the reasons why they might get food afterwards, Crows, because like murdering people, like following through with a homicide, it's exhausting. Burns a lot of calories. You gotta recharge.
That's 50 times in a row. Jesus Christ, takes it out of you. Whew.
Gene knows from experience. That shit gets a boy hungry.
Workout. You don't. That's why you like hardly ever see any fat like serial killers. Like Gacy's really like the only one out there.
Yeah.
John,
Did you go from there?
He was fat.
Yeah, he was kind of overweight. He had a heart condition, so he had to use like.
So we took the car.
Lying, Gene.
Pusher parked by like some bank that was like 2 blocks away from his house, and we just walked there.
Harvey Weinstein.
So 2 blocks away from Nate's house?
Yeah.
Okay.
And then we walked
I
back
think he
to his
spent it on
house,
Pokemon cards.
and I think we were just there for the rest of the night. And then the next day is the day he didn't want to go to school.
So what happens on Tuesday with you guys?
We went and we got pizza, but we took the car to a place across from McDonald's and then parked there. And then we bought, like we walked, bought some pizza, ate. Then when we were walking back, we went and got gloves and cleaning stuff. And we went to the car, just kind of wiped it down a little bit, then left the car keys in the car and then left it.
You're supposed to do that before you commit murder. God. They weren't being very pragmatic and thinking things through. They're doing things in order.
These kids are doing just crazy shit at 13.
I'm just saying, they showed up with like weapons and stuff. It's like, you're supposed to get the gloves and the cleaning supplies beforehand. So like right after you fall through.
They're
with
not
homicide,
very pregnant.
Their prefrontal cortex hasn't completely developed yet. And like they mentioned previously, it's part associated with the reason.
John, they were fucking hungry. Shut up.
Yeah.
Gene.
Who omitted the same detail that Nate did concerning how they used the money. Neither of them want to admit where most of the money went.
Remind me again, if you already said it, what happened to her purse?
Oh, I know what they did. I know now.
What?
They spent the money on prostitutes.
I bet I bet you're right about meth. It's
meth.
I bet meth is the answer. I'm
It's
with
meth. Wait.
Honest Red Eye on this one. It's meth.
Wait,
it was like,
hold on. I've busted this freaking case wide open. Remember the footage of them sitting at the pizza parlor? Did you see what the one dude was doing? He was sprinkling something on that pizza. That was the meth. It was a freaking meth pizza. It was a meth pizza.
Yes.
Honestly, as long as it's not pineapple, I'm okay with it.
I love meth pizza.
No, but I think it's going to be like Pokemon cards, Yu-Gi-Oh cards. That's why they're reluctant to like disclose, because they don't want to come across a bunch of dorks.
We have a huge stash of Pokemon cards now.
They're embarrassed.
The actual purse thing, I think we threw down a sewer.
And who threw that down?
Nate did. He ran
Well, I like
outside
what Skippy J said.
Okay.
Fortnite
Was there anything in the
skins.
purse?
Yeah.
Fortnite skins and Pokemon cards.
Yeah.
Who else does that sound right? Sound like?
Sounds like Drunken Crow.
There is money, like cash, nothing else that we kept.
You just told us a lot of things, okay? So, and I know you don't want to keep talking about it. I know it's really hard for you to talk about it, but I just have to ask some questions, okay?
At this point in the interrogation, the detective is going to go back over Nathan's story and ask clarifying questions in order to make sure she has his story correct, and also to note any changes he might make to his version of events.
When did he tell you or show you that he had the hatchet, right when you got home from school?
Yeah.
What did he say?
He said she was somewhat rich, that he was going to get the credit card pin to take all her money out. But he wasn't going to kill her right away. He was going to, like, scare her. And then
it wasn't just like murder for the sake of murder. Some other, yeah.
Yeah, they wanted some money
some
for
financial gains in
pizza.
There. Yeah.
Or that he was going to hit her in the back of the head.
He said that was what his plan was?
Yes.
Nathan is placing all the planning on Antonio and making himself seem more like a bystander who's just going along with what Antonio says. Co-defendants often do this in the hopes that they'll get less time, since they weren't the mastermind behind the crime.
Did he have anything else with him?
Hammer.
A hammer?
Yeah.
Okay. Did he also get that from his house?
No. Here.
So he had the hammer too?
No, he made me hold it.
Nathan claims that Antonio made him hold the hammer, but doesn't say exactly how he made him do this. It doesn't seem very plausible or possible that Antonio physically forced Nathan to hold the hammer. He's clearly attempting to downplay his involvement in the crime.
So you held the hammer, and then did you guys take anything else with you?
What? He made him do it.
Have you ever seen Three Guys, One Hammer?
No, I don't watch.
You should watch that on stream.
I should watch your mom getting naked.
No.
Yeah, I said it.
So then your mom, you told your mom that you're going to see a friend. You guys are going to see a friend out there?
Yeah.
Had you been to his grandma's house before?
Yeah.
You met her before?
I didn't really beat her. He just went there to earn money, but he was going to steal the money because he was going to do like yard work to get paid.
Uh-huh.
But when he went inside, I guess he took 100.
That was another time?
Yeah, it was months ago.
Months ago?
Yeah.
Okay.
According to Nathan, Antonio has stolen from his great-grandma Barbara before. This might explain why he was under the impression that she had lots of money, or why she was the first target that came to his mind when he was concocting his plans to get some cash.
You said you got to her house and the garage door was open?
Yeah.
Do you guys walk in the garage?
We walked in the garage, tried the bags, didn't like really work out.
What were you doing with the bags?
Putting over our heads.
Why is that?
Just so she couldn't tell who we were.
In Nathan's initial telling of the story, he claims that only Antonio tried to put a bag over his head to conceal his identity. It's not.
Yeah, it matters. It matters a lot making sure the person that you kill doesn't know who you are. It helps a lot. So later on down the road, they don't tell people about it after they're dead and everything.
Yeah, there was these two convicts that got arrested, and they used permanent marker as a makeshift mask. Have you ever seen that?
Blackface. It sounds familiar.
Yeah.
I could have swore there was just one person that did it. Were there multiple?
Yeah, it was two. And then the Dunning-Kruger effect, like what made the two like psychologists want to look into it was this guy who robbed a bank, and he wore lemon juice. And he was like smirking at the camera and stuff. And he thought that like because he heard that lemon juice can be used as invisible ink, he thought that it would make his face invisible to the cameras.
Yeah, I remember hearing about that.
So these guys wanted to put plastic like bags over their head, plastic bags, if I understand right.
Yeah.
How? Like, did they not suffocate
poke holes in it?
Well, yeah, you could, but I just picture them like putting plastic bags, like Walmart bags, over their head and be like, "Oh, this is probably a bad idea."
Yeah, they started suffocating. They're like, "Okay, well, I guess we'll have to do this and show her our identity before we murder her." Gosh.
Wait. Here, God. Yes. Okay.
What?
I'm gonna post this picture in the chat. This was their disguise.
Common for suspects to leave things out. Or
I know what you're getting. It's the kid in the back of the classroom. Subway.
Lie about minor details to save as much face as possible, even after they've already confessed to the major details.
And then that didn't work out, so I gave him my sweatshirt to wear to cover his face.
Did you then hide in the garage or kind of stand off to the side?
He wanted me to open the door.
To go inside to her house?
Yes, but right as I went to open it, it opened and she was standing right there. And he's like, do you want to come inside?
His voice is pretty raspy.
He said, yeah, so we went inside. And she's like, don't steal none of my money.
This offhand comment from Barbara to Antonio
she knew that he took her money. She's like, I saw that my $100 bill. She said, don't steal my money to her grandson when she let him in. They didn't say this until now. It's like she knew he was taking the money.
It's that she's aware that he's stolen money from her before.
And then Tino looked at me, and then looked at her, and then she said she's gonna call his mom. And then right after she said that, he hit her on the head. He like stumbled to the floor, hit her once to the floor, and then hit her 3 more times. She said stop it. Her hands were in the way, so he probably hit her hands and arms.
This account coincides with that battered state of Barbara's arms when her body was found. She'd spent her final moments pleading with her great-grandson not to kill her, while attempting to shield her head and face from the vicious attack.
And he said, Nate, help.
Okay.
And then he took off the sweatshirt. And then he slowly, then he walked over and started to hit her again. And then I slowly walked over. And I was panicking. I didn't know if I should do it or not. And I didn't want him to start hitting me, so I hit her.
This is a rather large deviation from Antonio's story.
Don't you love the victimization all of a sudden? Yeah, it was really like me that was a victim. I was scared. Like, yeah.
Pathetic Shab.
Yeah, you're going around just constantly doing bad shit with this kid. You guys made this plan together, and then just like at the last moment, somehow you become the victim. This whole time, you were his buddy committing these crimes and stuff until this moment. All of a sudden, you're Mr. Victim. Almost that time, yeah, Dylan. You excited, baby?
According to Antonio, both he and Nathan only struck Barbara a few times with their weapons. Nathan is describing a scene where Antonio is savagely beating his great-grandmother, even taking a second to remove his sweatshirt before continuing to bludgeon her to death.
She got knocked unconscious, and then she started to snore, and then that's when Tina just used the sharp shot and shut like hair really hard, and it got stuck in there. And
God, he had to shut her up.
The whole top of it was like gone.
Her whole what was gone?
Up here, it's all gone.
The whole top of her head?
I think.
If nothing else, the sheer extent of the overkill seen here is enough to provide evidence of the intent to kill Barbara. The attack was simply too brutal to be the result of a robbery gone wrong.
I started to panic again, and then I was pacing back and forth because I didn't really want to do it. And then he was doing the same, and he grabbed lights and told me to go wipe down the door handles that we touched.
Their choice to clean up after themselves before leaving the scene of the crime is further proof that the two were indeed aware and thinking competently throughout the ordeal. Especially Antonio, who, according to Nathan's story, is instructing him on how to cover up the crime scene. Nathan's version of the story does a convincing job of painting Antonio as the evil genius.
And when you realized you couldn't lift her back up into the trunk.
I don't know that we should use the word genius at any point. Like the evil leader or something, sure, but like genius, yeah, Rice Kabibi. It's like I don't think there was.
Like your crime would be any better.
I think I could. This is
some modern art there, some abstract, like Picasso, like pizza face model.
Yeah, they're the worst. They're sitting there like in the garage with their bags. Like, no, we can't put it on. Yeah, put it on. Grandma's like, who's? I hear 2 people out here in my garage. What are you doing? Like,
to be fair, Shad, we
got caught. Like I don't know. It's just like they're it's like 2 stooges in a movie trying to rob a joint, and they can't do nothing right. It's like, and then they use the word genius in this. It's like, no.
I think he's using the word genius like to be like, hey, his friends trying to describe his friend.
He's the leader. He's trying to describe him as the leader, but not.
But he said he's trying to make him out to be an evil genius.
Yeah, I don't think anybody's trying to make him out to be a genius. Then
this is basically Little Red Riding Hood without the Little Red and the wolf.
Yeah, this is like Little Red Riding Hood without the forest and without the wolf and without the girl and the Little Red Riding Hood.
Without all the cookies and treats in the basket.
I'm just kidding. All right, let's see. What do we got? We got 12 more minutes on
You
it.
dragged her back towards the door that goes into the house?
12 minutes.
The two of you?
Yeah.
12, baby.
Okay. When did you put the blanket over her body?
When we realized we couldn't put her in the trunk, so we were like gonna wrap her body up and then see if we could like have the two ends of the sheet like twisted up so we can like lift it, but that didn't work, so we just left it right there next to the doorstep.
What about her?
No, I pushed it back.
Head
Scooby.
Did you guys?
Yeah, Scooby.
Stupid, dumb shit.
He put plastic bags over it, and then he told me to give him my belt, and then he tied that around her neck.
Why did he do that?
Like, so if we could have picked her up, so like blood didn't spill everywhere.
Where did he get the bags from?
Since she gardens a lot, she had garbage bags in there to like throw weeds in. I was actually there and saw your great grandma, okay? And there was something on her head. Do you remember what that would have been? A bag. Okay, what color? Black. And how did that get there? From in the garage. There's bags in the garage. And why was it put on there? Because I didn't like seeing it. Didn't like seeing her face or what? Yeah. Or I don't want to put words in your mouth, so what didn't you like seeing? Everything that happened.
It's not uncommon for killers to cover their victim's face if it's a family member, friend, or partner. Seeing the face of their deceased loved one might trigger certain emotions that the killer would likely rather avoid. The fact that Antonio felt the need to do this indicates that he felt some type of negative emotion when he saw what he did to her, possibly due to lingering traces of an emotional attachment or even hints of remorse.
So that's why, did you put the bag on her head?
I think so, yeah.
Okay. And what kept that bag on her head?
Nate's belt.
So did he put that on, or did you?
Pretty sure he gave it to me and then I did.
What happened with the hammer?
I think we put it in the trunk.
And what about the hatchet?
The trunk.
Okay. And the jewelry?
In the back seat.
And the purple bag?
Back seat.
And
there's a bloody coat in the trunk.
A bloody coat in the trunk?
Yeah, because that's what we first put over her head.
You first put the coat over her head?
I want to figure out what they did with most of the money.
Where were the keys for her car at?
Pocket.
Should I play that like two times speed?
No, we're almost done.
You got
Shut
the
up.
keys out of her pants pocket?
Yeah.
What was in the purple bag?
She had like shoes and a camera case with a camera in it, and then a wallet, and then her purse. And then we put like cleaning the wipes in it. And so that's all we put in that bag. And then he wanted to sell the jewelry so he could have money, because he was just gonna run away.
And how much money was there in there, cash?
About, I think, $150.
And where is that?
Yeah, it's
Some
like
of it
fine.
went towards food, and then we got pizza, and then
Pizza is food, you little white shit. What'd you do with the money? How many hookers did you hire, you little shit?
Still at his house upstairs.
This guy's a
If you
mastermind.
get
$150.
Shut up. It went towards a good cause, pizza. Red Eye.
Pizza. It
He's
was
a
the death
mastermind.
meth
Criminal
pizza.
mastermind.
He did say
$140.
Huh?
Skeppy J, like the no remorse regarding cybercrimes. Like, yeah, I don't need to have remorse because all those kids brought it on themselves.
Shut up, Gene. Shut up. All right, let's keep this going. Hold on.
And then, I think that's it.
Hold on.
So all the money's gone?
Yeah.
So you just took the cash out of there?
Yeah.
What did you keep from the purse?
The money.
Just the cash?
Yeah. And we took the money, bought weed.
How much weed did you buy?
145 worth.
Who did you buy that from?
I don't know who he bought it from.
Tino bought the weed?
Yeah.
Were you with him when he bought it?
No.
Where did you guys buy it at? Or where did he buy it at?
And he bought it from some kids that he knew who were in high school.
Who actually bought the weed?
They were, like, both of us were both there.
Oh, did you both actually have the money and give it to whoever you bought the weed from?
Like, I had, like, the money with me. Like, I kept it in my pocket.
Have you bought it from whoever that person is before or not?
Yeah, I have.
Antonio and Nathan managed to steal a mere $155 from Grandma Barbara's house. They proceeded to spend all but $10 of that money on weed and the rest of it on pizza. Both momentary and fleeting desires. They enjoyed
I thought it was going to be meth. It was weed. I actually was saying that in the beginning. I was like, it's either for alcohol or weed. And it turned out to be weed.
Life. Their young age is certainly a reason for their poor decision.
Goddamn pizza for $10.
Yeah.
You kidding me?
Yeah. They said it was only $5.55 or something for the pizza. You said that early.
Little Caesars or what?
I don't know, but I want to go there.
Well, you think that's cheap or expensive?
No, it's fucking cheap.
Yeah, he's saying cheap. But it was a little pizza. It was like only like some small pizza thing that they both shared for $5 or $6, whatever.
They didn't want to squander all their
actions. Go far beyond.
Yeah, they wanted weed, dude.
Centeredness of typical teenagers. Their actions and mindset are very much reflective of children with severe conduct disorder.
And we woke up the next morning.
Tuesday morning?
Yeah.
Yesterday morning?
Yeah. And then that's when I decided not to go to school.
What about the stuff in the trunk?
I just left it there. And the keys are sitting on the seat. Because Tino thought that if some dude walks by and sees the keys just sitting there, that he would take the car. And if they find the car, they would have thought he did it.
This half-baked plan is full of sizable holes. It goes to show their immaturity and unsophisticated thinking, which is to be expected from offenders of their age.
And you woke up today and went to school?
Yeah, and Tino wasn't at school.
Okay.
It's interesting that Nathan resolved to go to school the next day. After the events of Monday afternoon, he was probably eager to resume his normal life. Realistically, Nathan said goodbye to his childhood as soon as he participated in the murder, and he likely felt this.
Do you have any questions for us right now or not?
Mainly just how much time I'm looking at.
After ending his own grandmother's life, scarring his whole family, including his mother.
Yeah, just mainly like how much time I'm looking at is like a couple weeks or what, bro? Because I totally want to get back on the streets. What?
Skeppy J, conduct disorder is the nice way to just say bad kid, because it's pretty much the condition they give to kids who just commit crimes and stuff and who act out, engage in acts of misconduct. It's bad kid syndrome.
And implicating his closest friend,
So
Antonio is
is it
still
not
only
all
concerned
right
about the
to hit your
consequences.
kids anymore?
Whoa, stop it. That's
No,
not
bad.
good. Bad
That's
drunken
what kids
crowd.
with conduct disorder do when they have kids.
Bad
Discipline
drunken.
discipline your kids.
Bad drunken crow.
Yeah,
What if they say
actually, in a lot of cases where kids do that, it's because there's no discipline. It's because they're usually victims of neglect.
Shut up. We're trying to finish this up, Gene. We have another stream soon. I just want to figure out how much time they got, Gene.
Shooting hands indicate that the amount of time he'll spend in
The
prison
other stream starts in 10 minutes, Gene. God, Gene!
Continue.
All right, cool.
is a source of great anxiety for him.
I don't make that decision. Obviously, there's a district attorney. That
Like, how much time am I looking at, bro?
As far as that, but
And then am I hearing today or no?
I'm not sure. I can tell you that you're not going to get out if you do have the hearing.
Okay.
Because you are going to end up getting charged. You realize that, right?
Yeah.
And do you realize what you're getting charged with?
Murder.
Right. So first-degree intentional homicide of your great-grandma, Barbara Olson. You do understand the severity of that, right?
Yeah.
Bobby, do you have any questions for us right now? No? Okay.
It's surprising that the mother wouldn't have any questions after learning that her son just helped kill his friend's great-grandmother in such a vicious manner, and that he used her to carry out their heinous plans.
Nate, do you have any questions for us right now?
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
We're
she
gonna-
gave them a ride to go commit a murder. Like,
Be collecting the clothing that Nate pointed out that he was
Mango for a second.
Oh, my phone?
wearing on Monday, and his shoes.
No,
and
the interviewer.
those clothing that he pointed out in his bedroom. Okay. Okay. We'll have to take
That's
Nate
Mingo's
into
side job.
custody right now and from the house. Do you understand that, Nate? Do you understand that, Bobby? Yeah.
Okay, you realize what you're going to be charged with. I told you, right? One other thing, I actually heard that you were a really good kid and into sports and all kinds of stuff, and then something happened.
I was hit by a car.
Right? So then, is that what happened? That you go from being into sports and a good kid to what we just talked about? Or what else is in the middle of there?
Not being able to do anything.
What do you mean?
Like, everything I wanted to ever do had to do with some sort of combat or, like, stuff I wasn't allowed to do because of my head. Like, I wanted to be in boxing, MMA, and football.
Oh, God. He's talking about, like, he's saying he got hit by a car, and he's like, oh, yes, and I wasn't able to do all the things I wanted to do, because those were, like, physical things.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't know, you fucking beat your grandma's face until it was a pancake. I don't think you're...
Shab, you don't know what it's like.
I think you're able to do... I know what it's like to get into a bike accident where I almost died.
Dude, he can't follow through with his dreams.
Yeah, it's really everyone else's fault, man. That I got hit by a car.
It's a victim of circumstance.
And that's why I bludgeon people to death for their weed money. Yeah.
And because of what happened to your head, you couldn't do any of that?
Do you think it would end up differently?
No, I think he's being a doofus and using dumb excuses for him doing horrible things. Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, this one bad thing happened to me. I wouldn't be this horrible person if this one bad thing didn't happen to me. As if no bad things happen to everybody on this fucking panel right now. Everybody here had something horrible happen to them, I'm sure.
That's true, and I think when adults do the victim thing, that's a good point. But I think kids, that's just how kids think. They're not mindful of how, like, oh yeah, like everyone deal. Kids do tend to be more, I guess, egocentric.
Yeah. Let's see what they got real quick and then end this.
And what happened as far as why you would not be able to do any of that stuff then?
I got a concussion, which they say I still have, but I say I don't.
An interview with his grandma Judy, the victim's daughter, confirmed that Antonio had indeed been hit by a car while riding a bike when he was 10 years old. It's true that this accident might have caused traumatic brain damage that resulted in a drastic change of personality. Studies have shown that brain injuries that occur during developmental years can cause long-lasting neurocognitive changes.
What'd you say?
I said, did he deserve it?
His memory loss, personality changes, intense aggression, and lack of inhibition.
Going too
On the
far.
other hand, as a teenage boy who was never able to do any of the things he wanted to do, he might have felt as though his life was
Play
already
that
over.
two-speed,
and that his
piece of
actions
shit.
didn't matter.
But they say it'll just get worse if I join anything.
Is there anything else? Is there anything else you want to make sure
to do it.
Not really.
Antonio is escorted out of the interrogation room. Immediately following his interview, Nathan is arrested and also taken into police custody. The note that Nathan had written, the note that would send chills down the spines of seasoned detectives, read, "He killed his grandma, and I was with him." Antonio initially pleaded not guilty to the murder on the grounds that he was mentally ill. A psychiatrist who assessed Antonio testified at his trial that Antonio does indeed suffer from cognitive issues caused by him being hit by a car just a few years prior. However, it seemed that this crime was simply too heinous to be overlooked. Even the judge would say that this was the worst case he'd seen in his 24 years as a judicial officer. On June 24th, 2013, he changed his plea to no contest as part of a plea deal. On August 12th, Antonio Barbeau was found guilty of the first-degree intentional homicide of his great-grandmother, Barbara Olson, and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 36 years. In the meantime, Nathan's trial was still ongoing. In fact, Antonio would testify at his dear friend's trial. He would take the stand and tell the court that Nathan was not the clueless follower the defense tried to paint him to be. He claimed that Nathan was just as involved in the planning of the murder and just as invested in carrying out the murder as he was. On the opposing side, Nathan's relatives argued that Nathan had the social development of a child and could easily be influenced into doing something that horrific by someone like Antonio. At the end of the day, the gruesome and severe nature of Barbara's injuries, demonstrated by crime scene photos presented in the courtroom, attested to the fact that there was very likely more than one active killer. That was all the convincing the jury needed. On August 13th, 2013, the day after Antonio was sentenced, Nathan Pop was also found guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and sentenced to life in prison with the possibility of parole in 31 years. In 2016, Antonio attempted to appeal his sentence. Nathan attempted the same the following year. Both appeals were swiftly denied and the original sentences were upheld. Antonio was sent to the Waupun Correctional Institution and will be eligible for parole in 2048.
Alright, so they got a bunch of time. So we're going to move over to GTA. Those two were an inspiration. They really knew how to treat their family members right. They're good people. Good Christian.
Grandma just wanted to be put down. We force old people to live way beyond their expiration date.
Yeah, she wanted their favor. All right. To the GTA stream we go. So everyone that's here, let's see. Here's a link in the chat. Starts in only 2 minutes. Click this link. Even if you don't click it, you should automatically get moved over there. So peace out. See you guys over there.